Hello and welcome to episode 247 of the DCP plus
The DCPP.
DCPP.
The DCPP.
new name.
You mix the
That's it.
you mix the
Change
numbers
name.
and the letters up.
That's our name. We're the
None of that
DCPPs.
was accurate at all, which makes it even better.
DCPPs.
He was on such a roll.
I was like 100 episodes off, wasn't I? More than that.
Yeah, we just got done with 420. I thought that at least you would remember that, recently. But you rolled it back, dude. So far,
420 was more of a setback than a step forward.
yeah, I don't even know what 247. You did have the numbers right.
Yeah,
It
you
was
just mixed
just
them around the
jumbled
wrong
them.
way.
It was like a dyslexic
Yeah.
correct answer. I
Yeah.
went camping last night. I went kayak camping all by my lonesome. First ever camping trip.
I
by
saw your
myself.
pictures.
Yeah, they look good, didn't they?
Beautiful.
First ever
Yeah.
by yourself?
First ever camping trip by myself.
Oh, is camping scary by yourself?
A little bit.
I imagine.
But it was really fun. But I made a couple mistakes where I really wanted to go kayaking during the sunset. So I set up camp, then got back on the water. But while I was getting in the kayak, I fell in the water.
Oh.
Then I was sopping wet. I still wanted to go and look at the sunset, though. So I disregarded my wetness and went out back on the water, watched the sunset for about an hour, came back in and realized that now I'm soaking wet. I got to change. I got to warm up. I also have not done anything for food since the day before. I haven't eaten anything. And I have to figure out a bear bag situation because there are bears here.
Yeah,
Bear bag. Need a bear bag.
Which
you gotta
Is
hang them
that
up.
so the bear? Is that so the bear has like jammies and a sleeping stuff so he can join in
Yeah,
the tent?
Definitely.
you're trying to get on the
Thanks.
So
good
he
side
knows
of
to
the
just-
bear.
So he knows to get in there,
Yeah.
not eat you, and just kind of go to sleep and relax.
It's nap
This is a
time.
welcoming
Yeah.
place. We're trying to create a welcoming
Yeah.
environment for the bear. We
You're
are
like, you
bear
want to go on the
allies.
kayak? Sunset's coming.
Come on. I got
Dude, you
extra
have to do the
paddles.
bear bag too.
I
Did
can
you have-
imagine a bear sitting on a kayak with Briar as they paddle off into the sunset. Briar
I can
ripping
see
a
it.
beer, go, you want one? And Bear's like, okay.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Honestly,
The kayak's
I would
kinda like
read.
this because the bear's so heavy, so it's kind of.
Honestly, DCP community, I need you to make a comic, like a weekly or monthly
Yes.
comic called Briar and the Bear, and it's
That
just
would
what
be
he was
amazing.
describing. It would be
I would-
incredible.
I would read that. A nice little cozy slice of life camping. Briar and
Yeah.
the bear. Little
It
short
doesn't even
Or
need
like-
to be Brian the Bear. I think it's just whatever story Briar has each week. It's just a little adventure. You could have the Warhammer whole
That's-
setup too. Just Briar going into a Warhammer store asking questions.
Briar and the
That'd
bench.
be great.
So, side note about the bears is that my wife is deathly afraid of bears, right? Like, we're at irrational fear of bears. Like, she'll be in the backyard, which is fenced-in backyard, suburban community. There's no bears here, right? But
It's no bear.
she's scared of bears, right? She's scared of bears even in our backyard. So I'm like, hey, hon. She was not coming on this camping trip. I said, hey, hon, do you know where the bear spray is? I need it for tonight. She's like, it's in my car. I'm like, at work? She's like, yeah. I'm like, why do you have bear spray in your car at work? She works in the city.
Part of her emergency kit.
So it was no bear spray for Briar last night. I guess I could have gotten a gas.
Wow. But you had the rope and you did get your bear bag up and all that?
Yeah, which was difficult in the dark, even with the headlamp. That perception with a
I'd
single
imagine.
light source is a little weird.
So what?
Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
you do with a bear bag? As an
just-
Australian, we don't have to deal with this. We deal with the little things that kill us, not the big things.
You toss a rope over a high branch, like you tie a rope to a rock
Yeah.
or something, and then you kind of swing it and try and launch it over a high branch, and then
Right.
once it's over, then you can
Pulley it up.
clip your bag of food on and haul it up into the tree.
So you give them a pinata.
Yeah, it's like a tetherball.
Well, no,
set.
you get it up so high, yeah. But and Briar, correct me if I'm wrong, but you also you have to know that you're not in an area with bears that climb trees. Because
Yeah, I mean,
there
look,
is
if
a
the bear's that
different rule, I
committed,
believe, for
I
that.
think you let the bear have the
So-
fucking food.
So
Yeah, I
there's
don't know what you
different
do. There
rules
is.
if there's a tree climbing bear, you give them a different bear bag? Do you give them
I-
a bear
I don't know
sack?
what you do in that
You
situation.
put it in the kayak and you push it in the middle of the lake.
Then it's just you and the bear on the island. I don't know if that's a great idea.
Both look at each other going, great. Now we both don't have food.
Now we're both hungry.
Google says that you should use a bear canister.
Yeah, bear canisters are a
I
great
don't know what
idea.
that is.
Hard
Of
to
course,
fit
a
inside
bear
kayaks, though.
You know what that is?
Yeah.
I've never heard of a bear canister.
Yeah, it looks like one of those big things that like you get like a family, like a huge
Like a
thing
keg?
of Cheetos. Yeah, it's like a little plastic keg. But it's
That's
big.
awesome. Honestly, I
give
would
him a
just bring a keg, empty it out for dinner, and then put the bear stuff in there.
I mean, that's an
So
aggressive
which
dinner.
type of
Bear
bears are in this area? Because there's a
Black
difference in what
bears.
you have to do.
Yeah,
Black bears.
black
Black
bears.
bears.
We got the friendly bears, mostly trash eaters. You don't really have to worry about them attacking too often.
Yeah, black
Yeah.
bears aren't too bad, right? Like they're not
No.
Yeah.
super.
Yeah, we have
scary.
grizzlies in the U.S.
They'll
as
only
well.
go
Gri-
for it if they're
grizzlies
like
are, like-
really hungry.
Okay. Nice. What else exciting?
Yeah. So I apologize
adventure.
if I'm yawning a
So
lot.
what
looks
if
tonight.
really
you go by
cozy.
yourself? That sounds terrifying. I don't know if I'll do that.
Yeah, all of
It was
I'm
very
honestly,
dark. There was like Briar's little tiny tent is all lit up and it's just pitch black everywhere around it. And I'm like, the first picture was nice. This one's a little scary.
yeah, and like it doesn't surprise me, but you hear Briar works on stuff, and like he's pretty crafty. Part of you sort of assumes, nah, he would know what to do and to plan ahead, and then you're like, no, definitely, he's not even gonna bother like that. So you being like wet, no plan for dinner, it's dark, you're not set up for camp, and you're alone. Like
camp
all of
was
that is like
set up. Camp was set up.
Okay, but you didn't have a
The
plan
bear
for
bag
food,
wasn't set up.
and it was after dark already, which makes it all like difficult, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just glad you're back and you made it back.
Thank you,
So-
Fran.
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
I had a
It's
great
fun.
time. I already
Mm.
planned another trip in 2 weeks.
Mm.
All right.
Sounds
Maybe
relaxing.
just a short checklist this time.
Actually,
That
I
vest,
way
right?
overpacked. Like there was an issue with the
Yeah.
kayak where I was a little worried that it was going to get swamped when like other boats came by and waves were coming over because the boat was sitting so low in the water. So I gotta lighten the load a little bit. And let me
Okay.
tell you, buying lighter gear is way easier than going on a diet. So that's the path I'm gonna take.
Smart.
I did buy $1,000 sleeping bag though, which was
Oh,
sweet.
yeah, I bet you. it was
Wow.
worth it.
Yeah.
What
Well, I think that's
degree
something is worth investing in, to be honest.
Yeah,
is
it's
that
really
rated
nice.
for like 24 degrees or lower or something like?
No, it's not even rated.
Why
for
is it
that
so
low.
expensive?
It's just really fucking nice. it's called a Zen Bivy. If anyone wants to look it up,
Zen Bibby?
Zen Bivy. It's like a quilt with a sheet and a
Ooh.
pillow,
Oh,
and there's
that
like a little
sounds
hood
lovely.
that comes over your head.
that's like glamping.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, it was
That
on
does
sale
sound
for
ni- I mean-
Memorial Day. It was like 30% off, so I splurged.
Oh,
It's
that
totally
does
worth
look
it though,
nice.
because like if you can just like go to sleep roughing it right out
Yeah.
there, and that part is comfortable. It is. There's nothing better than laying down on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Where it's pretty uncomfortable. You probably had a mat too, or
Yeah, blow up air mattress.
yeah, but even that like can be kind of uncomfortable. So you
Yeah,
need something
mine
was
cushy. I can
pretty
only
comfy.
imagine.
It was pretty good.
Well, by yourself, blow up air mattresses are okay. It's when you get the double and your partner, then you both move it around. It's like you're on a fucking roller
Yeah,
coaster
no,
trying to go to
That's a
sleep.
bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah, when we
My,
go
It's just
camping
a
together,
dumb
we have
idea.
separate mattresses. We just put them together.
We went camping recently, and my wife's pregnant, so like half the
Mm.
car was literally mattresses. I was like, it was so full. It was like double mattresses because she couldn't really. The air mattress is not very comfortable. I was like, we can't fit anything else in the car. We're gonna have to take food out, so we've got mattresses in there.
Amazing.
Just roll up one of the kid in the mattress. Be perfectly safe in there and safe
I
space.
see, probably love it. Yeah.
Probably would love.
You want to be on the roof? We'll strap you down the roof.
Anyhow, enough about me doing stupid shit in the woods.
Yeah, it's been
There's so much going on. We got the Switch 2 launch.
too much.
yeah, we had the Sony State of Play, which I am extremely excited about.
I can only
Um,
imagine why.
Yeah. We had, what else do we have? The Edge of Fate.
Nintendo Switch
news?
launched.
Yeah.
Edge of
Edge of
Fate.
Fate previews.
Yep.
What do you want to start with? Who
Watts
wants to
played
go
Nioh
first?
3 demo. Oh man. Oof,
Did he
you
start
Let's
tell
start
play?
with Edge of Fate, shall we?
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Get,
get out
get
of
the
the way.
pain stuff out of the way.
Because I don't know
Eat
much,
broccoli
if I'm
first,
honest.
kind of.
Gotta eat your vegetables before you eat the ice cream.
Okay.
Yeah, I still need to like catch up on it. Normally I would want to bring
No,
Watts is going to be our Destiny correspondent tonight.
I'll
I only
be-
caught a little.
I have watched probably about 2 hours of content creative videos on it, but it's
Nice.
really hard to contextualize stuff when you're just getting like info dumps about stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'd be curious.
I
I was just gonna say on that, you're right. I saw so many. I tried to as well, Watts, but everybody's
yeah.
it's big detailed info dumps. If anybody out there knows, please like if say it in chat now or tag us in the comments. If there's anyone who did like a concise everything you need to know, but it's like really lots of long videos out there.
Yeah, so the overall impression that I'm getting about Edge of Fate is that they're doing a lot of stuff to change the core experience, to really work on the core, to like set a good foundation to build more stuff upon. So they're doing huge changes to like weapons and armor and stats and how you obtain stuff. They're doing huge sweeping changes with that, like pretty significant stuff.
Can you tell me how Edge of Fate fits into like the new model? Is this an expansion?
Yes.
This
Expansion.
counts as an expansion, right?
So remember, they take one expansion, roughly speaking. Team's development sizes change, but they split it in two. So now in December, instead of like July, then July.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Which is
Okay.
kinda
So
what
this
it was.
is okay, expansion. Copy that.
Yeah. So they're changing like mobility and resilience and all of that stuff to just be completely different things. They function differently, they do different stuff. So
Armor
that's a huge
2.0.
change. You've got Armor 2.0 with set bonuses and all of that stuff. So there's just lots of big changes. They're like we are changing the game. So I think if you're playing or if you want to come back for Edge of Fate, it probably makes sense to nuke most of your armor and just go, I'm just starting again. Because the armor is so different, and even the weapons being like different tiers. I think it makes sense to just hold on to some stuff that you know you're gonna want to use initially, and then kind of just start again and start getting new stuff. So it doesn't have any of the like new subclasses or new crazy stuff happening. It really feels like what Bungie did is something
Foundational.
that they've needed to do for a long time, to be honest. Is just work on like the fundamental parts of the game and set it up for it to be more fun and more rewarding to play Destiny in the future. And then they can start adding, that fun,
Yeah.
crazy stuff.
Yeah, and I'm probably wrong about this, but I always bring up Lightfall as I played it some of the most of any of my time because of they made quality of life changes, like the affinity changes went away, armor sort of
Yeah.
changed, right? And they
Mhm.
added loadouts and like so I would think of it more along those lines. Like this is one of the biggest sweeps and seems to be actually
big
way
sweep.
bigger. Yeah. So it's big in that sense. Yeah, we're going back to like level 10 or 0 basically. And
They're changing,
there's
the whole power system. There's like your overall power system, and then there's like per season, you have like seasonal power, which goes away at the end of seasons. So it's kind of like I would honestly put it closer to when we got special ammo back and special weapons. It's like that big of a change to the game. So yeah, it seems like people are
it's
pretty excited about it
Yeah.
because
What
there's
was
a
the what's
reason
the
to
reception
grind for
of it?
things.
What's the
Pretty
vibe of
pretty
it?
positive, I would say. I would say overall people seem pretty
Overly
positive.
positive? Mostly positive?
No,
What's the Steam
mostly
record?
positive, I
Mostly
think.
positive? Okay.
I think mostly
the pulse.
positive. Yeah. I think so. I think.
I think, yeah, people are happy to see that things are more sweeping changes, but
Yeah.
I don't know what the hands-on impressions from like, yeah, I watched a little bit of like Fall Plays, a little bit of Astacross, and I just didn't get into it. I've had an insane like week, but no excuses. But the point is, I don't know how everybody's feeling of those creators, and then you have like community sentiment and like Watts, you're not saying for sure either, right?
It seems like creators generally were pretty positive about like those fundamental changes. I think the thing that I've seen the most kind of iffiness on is the way that the campaign works in terms of like the Metroidvania stuff.
Mhm.
Like some people seem to really like it. Some people are like, I just don't want to try and figure out where to use my ball person and where to use my cannon shooting thing. So that seems kind of mixed on that. But the new character, people seem to like the new character. Yeah, so overall pretty positive stuff.
Nice. Oh yeah, Lodi or whatever you mean.
Low
The
dying, yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
Was there some more announcement about Destiny Rising as well? I do remember there being
There
stuff over the
was.
week, but I
Yeah.
don't know exactly what it was. I don't know if you guys caught it or not, but I did see some
Um,
videos pop up about Destiny Rising and people
I
kind of
haven't
liking
seen
it for some reason. It's
It's
probably just like our wishes in
closed.
Destiny as the general vibe I got.
I think it's the closed beta test.
Maybe it's a closed beta test.
Yeah, it's playable again.
Mate,
Yeah.
Right.
oh yeah, it just came out again in yeah, closed beta. I think that was the most of it, right?
Okay.
But
Think
yeah, I
so,
mean, people
yeah.
are. I think they're hyped for like because it's this alternate, Destiny reality where it's in the hands of other developers, and you're seeing some different takes on, everything from the elemental powers to other stuff. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother bag of chips
That's the phone
for
game,
the bear
right?
bag.
Is that the phone game?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just
Yep.
on mobile for now. I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
they've
think
even.
Joel Bright puts it pretty well, is that mostly feeling with the feeling of everything is changing, so we have to kind of wait and see before we judge. Yeah, it's like you have nothing that you can think about of like, well, armor is totally different and weapons are totally different. There's a tier system and the way that you
Yeah, you
get
should just
rewards is
play it,
different
yeah.
and power is different and yeah, but I think with there being so many big changes, I think that is really, really good for people who are even like one toe still in Destiny. Because this is, if you do enjoy playing Destiny, this gives you a lot more to do and to work towards and build towards. And yeah.
Them
Yeah.
taking big
Yeah, I mean, to
swings
me-
at like the base game of Destiny right now is a little scary because like it seems like we're fundamentally changing the way this works, and then a year later there's like somebody else in charge who's fundamentally changing the way it works and like with like no regard for like what we said a year ago. You know what I mean? It used back in the day it felt like there was like one person in charge for a long time, and now it's much more nebulous in that way, and like they seem to be changing kind of the direction of Destiny every 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
interesting because. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying I think I don't think I've got too much to lose at the moment as long as I don't change the. I mean, I guess this could change the formula, but I think change is probably good in a game this old looter shooter. Like I think it's
Yeah.
as long as it. I mean, you could always make a completely wrong directional change, sure,
Yeah.
but I
This
think
seems like
I
we're
would probably
changing the
prefer
foundation.
change over.
Like
Yeah.
we're not putting in a new pool, we're not putting on a new deck, we're not putting a new barbecue. That's the stuff that we do
Yeah.
after we fix the foundation, which is this
Yeah.
one, right? But if
Could-
we fix the foundation and then the new owners show up and they're like, we really want to add an addition, we got to blow out this foundation again. Like we just keep building the foundation.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I think it's some of that, but that's an interesting analogy that I don't know. It feels like a remodel as well, right? Like I like yeah, when I hear the Metroidvania stuff and I saw like Fallout Plays was talking about it a bit, I was like, oh, this is really neat. And I think most of that's just going to take place during the campaign, and there will be some, some strikes and things that have that. But end of the day, it's still going to be Destiny, and it's like going to really rely on the loop and the guns and the rate of the rewards, right? Yeah, now you have new armor to play with. So to me, like I think the way it's being talked about and people have tuned out for a while, I just wonder if people think it's a major revamp, and it may be. But when I look at it, I'm like, look, they're showing you a lot of what's changing, but I think you're going to hop in. And you're like, well, it's still obviously Destiny. And
Yeah.
they took a swing at Metroidvania this time. And then is the Star Wars Renegade stuff like roguelite inspired, I think. So we'll see. Again, it's the loop, but more than anything with what you're getting at, Briar, you're right that it's dangerous. But if you look at the audience and listen to them, they're like, it's not changing. So I have no interest in it anymore. So you have to change something, and
Yeah.
to me,
I
it's
do
more
agree.
that. They are like, you have to start taking some swings. You can't It's unsustainable, and they cut the team size as well. So they just literally, it's fight or flight situation on a lot of this stuff. So all that
Hey
being
guys,
said,
real quick, while
like what I
Watts
hear.
is away, were we aware that she had a naked Barbie in her background this whole time? Was that like something you
There's
guys
a
knew about
naked
and I just
Barbie?
missed?
Where?
She got some real
left
yaya
outside?
stuff. Oh, I don't know. It's not a naked Barbie, but I mean, it's pretty
Definitely-
skimpy. Which
Definitely a very skimpily dressed Barbie lookalike.
I wonder which game that's from. Stellar Blade or like
Okay.
it's got
If the head is
got
missing
something
next
going on.
week, I'm going to be concerned.
exactly. That's why you got to watch, not only listen.
That's right.
But yeah, I was gonna say I'm always playing Destiny's new content. And so when they make changes like this and the loop changes, and frankly, when I get to delete a bunch of stuff, hopefully, especially armor, but hopefully a bunch of weapons, I'm always interested to jump in and check it out. And honestly, and people may or may not remember, I'm a huge Metroid and Metroid Prime fan. And so literally them like taking the Metroid Prime ball and doing puzzles with it that are like pretty spot on in terms of the influence. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I don't think it's going to represent some major game changing experience, right? Again, it's just sort of like, well, you'll do this in the puzzles and campaign. And how long, in other words, have you been standing on plates, dunking balls, throwing balls? You get it. Well, now you roll into a ball. But
My
hey,
wife hates
we're
when I
making
enter the
progress.
kitchen. That's all I got to say.
Your wife hates what?
When I enter the kitchen. Dunking plates on balls, balls on plates.
Oh my god.
So
yeah, lots of new details coming out. They did have like a quick FAQ sort of thing in the TWID, if you want to go check that out. But no new vault spaces changing for now was one of the good reminders, and some of that is sort of quality of life for the Renegade Star Wars stuff in December.
I hope Watts is right and that we could just delete all our shit and start from scratch.
I would just delete it. I would just, if you're like, if it's something that holds you back and it's something you don't want to deal with, I think now is the best time to just go in there with a couple things for you to like do a campaign with, so you're set for a little bit, and then yeah, just get rid of everything else, start again, enjoy
Again.
collecting new stuff.
I wish I could do that. Wish I was that type of person. But no, like that is exactly the right advice. So definitely don't listen to what I'm about to say. But yeah, like getting rid of armor, like if you're not using more than one loadout or two, literally delete everything else. Like, no matter how good it is. Like, in other words, how often are you using this other stuff? I get caught up because I'm like, well, when I'm playing the game, I do stuff occasionally where I want to switch to like this, whatever, Graviton, land or Graviton, whatever the helmet's called, setup. And I'll punch it into the loadout optimizer and I'll just make something super fast. And I feel like I earned it. And so I don't want to get rid of it, but it's a terrible thing because I'll do that like once every 6 months. So I'm looking forward to Armor 2.0 is the point. Oh,
Great.
and Watts, didn't they have a new PvP mode that is it called Cutting Edge? I think it was
Don't know anything about it.
What I thought I heard about, maybe it's in the update. I think I heard about it in the previews, but I like the idea of it. Hopefully this is accurate, where it's going to be using only the new weapons in PvP in this mode. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
sweet.
Oh, really?
Like even
Yeah.
as like an option, I like that stuff is great. It's stuff I've been asking for a long time. Like I hate going in. It's like, dude, someone's still crushing on, I don't know, if it's Hawk Moon anymore or whatever these days. But yeah, it'd be cool to just have like a different mode. I don't think it's going to be like infinitely popular all of a sudden, but I like the
Yeah.
sound of stuff like that.
Yeah, especially if
Playing
they
into
keep
the
it
season.
like current. Like, so when the next update comes out, then this update shit no longer in there, only the new stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be really fun.
I'd hope that's the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably have tested this in the past too. It wouldn't surprise me.
Fran, did you get a Switch too?
Yeah, dude, I have it in. You guys are gonna hate me for saying this, but
Mhm.
one, I was at a launch party last night with Kind of Funny, and so I was able to already like play Mario Kart and check out the system for the first time. So it's sitting in a box, like cardboard box. I haven't even opened it.
Nice, nice.
Well,
And
I'm pretty
Myelin-
sure it's in there with a Pro
You're
controller.
pretty sure it's in there. There could be a
I didn't even
rock.
open it yet.
Yeah,
All
Yeah,
I
I
know
was.
is that ours was delivered by Walmart and it came with Pringles and a Coke.
Nice.
Did it?
Yeah.
That's a nice
Those
They
are
touch.
packed.
just like, yeah. I don't
An
know which. I saw
accident?
it on Twitter, and I was like, well, I saw someone post it on Twitter, and I was like, oh, maybe they just like made a mistake. And then yeah, everyone's like, oh, my Switch arrived with Pringles and a Coke.
It's a marketing promotion? Wow.
Yeah, I got some free Pringles and a Coke. My Coke says
I
homie on it, and it's barbecue Pringles.
I
I'm not gonna
wonder
lie.
if
I
they
think that's
cleared
pretty
that
cool
with Nintendo.
thing for Walmart to do. Like
I think it's
It
pretty
is.
nice. Yeah.
They
Speaking
just got
of,
the advertising value out of it, to be honest. Everyone talking about Walmart, Pringles, and Coke.
right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people are talking about how Walmart's stuff was delayed. First, they canceled some order stuff, and that's a whole mess.
And
But
Target
then
did that
shipping.
too, I think.
Yeah, some people have had their shipping looks to be pretty late. So
That Coke.
That's
is
what
gonna
I
Well,
saw
you'll
about
get
Walmart.
Pringles and
stale.
a Coke when you do get it. Oh,
yeah,
there it
maybe
is.
that's why it's late.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think
Oh,
the
yeah.
first thing you'll notice when you take it out is the screen looks so much bigger. Like it doesn't do
It
it
is
justice when you
large.
see images of it, and then you're like, oh, that's kind of chunky. Even if I just put it up against the normal Switch,
It's heavy,
kind
man.
of like, I mean, maybe they
Damn.
can. Oh, no, sorry, I was giving you Lord of the Rings perspective then.
Yeah, I was like, you're cheating, dude.
I was
No,
being
that's
Gandalf.
still-
Wow.
Oh, bits. Look how big it is. He's like got
That's
it way
still
up.
a big
Look at my
difference.
tiny hand that I have, dude. It's so weird.
It looks more similar to like Steam Deck.
Yeah, is it about the
Yeah,
size of a
yeah.
Steam Deck, but thinner, maybe?
It kind of feels like that. I mean, I don't have a Steam Deck, but the quality feel is way higher than the Switch. Like, it is so much sturdier than the Switch. You know, when you first got the Switch, you're like, bro, I can snap these controllers off. They kind of like wiggle around a bit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're not locked into place very well.
I
Yeah,
really
they're
like
very
the
sturdy.
idea that Joy-Cons, a removable controller, like such a brilliant idea, but it's always felt a little chintzy.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
these definitely
No,
lock
they're
in
nice.
place a lot better, and they don't kind of like move around compared
great.
to.
And it's a mouse.
Yep, and it's a mouse. I haven't used the mouse function yet because
I
I
tried
didn't
it.
want to pay $15 for the tech demo to use the mouse. But I've got like 10 hours in Mario Kart. I think I played it all day yesterday.
I would love to hear your thoughts on Mario Kart.
So I don't know about you guys. I don't know if
You've
you've
played
been
a lot.
hearing people's complaints about it, saying it looks boring. And there's a very, very good reason for the complaints. So
Yeah, can you first remind me to like how much you liked with Mario Kart 8 or previous Mario Karts and like how much you've played?
I play Mario Kart 8 literally every day at the beginning of stream.
But
My
you love it.
elo's like 11,000 super sweaty lobbies.
Okay.
And I get matched with Japan as well because of my like time zone. So I'm like in full Japan lobbies, Mario Kart 8, kind of like the
Okay.
higher elo.
But you love it,
sweating.
I assume. You don't just play
Love
it
and hate.
because of
Love
stream.
and hate it.
Okay,
love and
love
hate
and
it.
hate. A classic Myelin stream then.
Yeah. So Mario Kart World has an open world which you can just free roam from the beginning of the screen, like the opening screen. It is very, very nice. It's seamless. You just go like your character's just you think it's a cutscene or whatever, you know, it's in the background driving around and you press like free roam and like then you just start driving wherever you want. All the maps are connected together and these little puzzles are out there that you like step on and it does like a mini time trial. It's like fly through the ring or like Tony Hawk grind the rail
Yeah.
around this thing and like they only take 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever to complete. Most of them are easy or a bunch of them are easy. Some of them are actually a little bit hard. But the open world section, I saw a lot of people like IGN and stuff criticize. I think it's great. Like, if you got kids, like I just had Leo, he's just turned 3, and he was like I put on auto drive. I gave him a controller. He was just driving around the open world looking for fish in the ocean. He's like, "Where the fishies are? I don't know, mate. Let's go find the fishies. Oh, there's a dolphin." You know, like I think that part is really good for a younger audience.
Oh, yeah.
And to be honest, just like I needed to eat some food on stream. I had one controller in one hand, I had the other hand in a packet of chips, and I was just driving around the open world finding the secrets, and like it was great. It was good. I think it was actually quite nice to be able to have that option and like unlock the world and get these little puzzles as you go through.
Yeah.
And then what they've done is there are some other new game modes.
Knockout.
One's called Knockout, where you drive from track to track to track, and you pass through gates, and on the gate's a big number. So like the first gate's like 20, and there's 24 players. So the bottom 4 players get knocked out, and the rest continue. And then it's like 16, and then I think it's 8, and then it's top 4. So it's like a knockout race. You just keep going until you have the
Like an
top 4
elimination
standing
race.
base. Yeah, it's an elimination race. Because you're driving between places, the tracks are very straight and wide because you've got to fit 24 players on it. It is just silly craziness. It's just everyone.
Oh, they have their
spamming
own
items.
tracks just for that mode?
No, well, there's like linking areas between them, which aren't technically tracks. So there's like just
The open
Oh,
world.
highways.
Is it doing like a
between-
Burnout Paradise thing where it's just taking
Yeah.
parts of the open world and we're going to make this
Yes.
a track? Okay.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So exactly. So there's linking. All the tracks are linked together, and then when you do that, it creates like its own track kind of thing. And then you drive between them. It is pretty. It's chaotic fun, but like I think if you compare it like skill wise towards Mario Kart 8, which is just like quite impeccable track design, this is just kind of like Road Rash. It's a highway that you're just trying to smash everyone on and hopefully get the items you want, and just occasionally you'll get a mushroom and you can boost past the corner. It's still fun chaos. The last mode, or actually 2 more modes, there's a battle mode and there's like a normal racetrack mode. And I think this is where a lot of the comments about it being boring comes from. When you do the normal racetrack mode, you pick your track.
I mean, like Grand Prix or time trials?
Like no, online still. Sorry, this is all
I
online.
see.
So I'm talking about all online play.
I see. Yeah.
So when
Multiplayer.
you like check your normal like racetrack online, you have to race most of the time to get there. So and it's like 3/4 or a third, depending on how many laps. Sorry, 2/3 or 3/4 is you on the highway again. So let's just say you pick the desert map, but you're currently in like the mountains. You start in the mountains, you travel through the jungle, and then you arrive in the desert map. And when you get to the map that you have selected, you only get like 1 lap of it. So the rest of it's you on the highway spamming items. And then when you get to your selected map, you just get a single lap of it and then you're done. And I think this is where like the criticism comes from, is the maps are really good. Like I want to do a proper 3 laps of the map I selected. If I want to do the highway like chaos, I'll go into like knockout and do that. But it quite literally is 3/4 or 2/3 of the race is the highway, is getting to the map location. And that is just a big wide highway with items pretty much. And you kind of go straight most of the time. And I could bring them up, but if you look at the map, like it's just like a straight line really.
Yeah.
And some people watch it like, this is not that exciting. But when you get to the actual maps, they're actually really bloody good. And you can get around it. And this is what you're going to see, is if you pick random and the track you get is not physically connected to where you are, you just get to do 3 laps of the track. And people are starting to pick random all the time now, because you end up getting a track where you just play the track and you miss all the highway part of it. You miss all the the straight lining of it to get there. So I actually really hope they change the scale of it. And so I really like the chaos of the highway before you get to your map, but I don't think it should be 3 out of 4 laps is the highway, or 2 out of 3 laps is the highway.
But you can also, if you want, play the mode online without the highway connection, right?
Yeah,
Just straight up Grand Prix.
Oh no, you
whatever
can't.
mode.
Not online.
Oh, there is a Grand Prix mode.
You
where
can't?
No,
You have to do the...
This is the issue. So the only way you get around it is by
selected random.
selecting random.
So
And
there's no
occasionally
like Grand Prix mode, like a traditional Grand Prix mode where you go into a
Well,
menu
there
and, like,
is-
we're gonna race like these 4 tracks.
No, not online.
With online, you're saying.
Is
Wow.
there in the
So
single
maybe
player?
that's the confusion here, yeah.
In single player, there is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the normal... That's what's... So I haven't played enough yet, but I'm like, well, it has Grand Prix, it's got time trials, and you're telling me when I wasn't in control last night when I was playing. So if I was doing online, like I can't just select those modes online. It's like strict. What's it called actually when you?
I'm booting it up right now.
Okay. Yeah, I wish I had mine
trying to-
next to me, but it's like that's surprising for sure that you're telling me they're forcing you into a new format of online versus like giving you both, if I'm understanding correctly.
Yeah. So when you go online, you have the knockout mode. You have, I'll find the name of it, the normal mode,
Which forces you to connect.
which would be equivalent of Mario Kart 8, where you just do you pick a map and you do 3 laps of it. That's how online works in Mario Kart 8.
So it does have that.
Yeah, but to get to the map, you have to do the highway run.
You still have to drive in that mode too.
Yes,
they
that's like
they don't just
gimmick
put
for
you
it.
on the track immediately.
No, that's why people are saying it looks boring, because the highway part's just kind of straight.
So, Mama, just for clarity too, because I did online battle mode. When you're waiting to join, they put you in free roam, like driving on the map.
Lobby. Yeah.
But is that what you're describing? Because you're matchmaking and you're using it? No, okay. And that's a different one. So yeah, like you will free roam around while you matchmake, which I think is fine. But I was wondering if like you were saying that's what was going on. Yeah, I got to check all of this out.
So I hope they change it a little bit. So the maps are really fun, and it actually took me ages to work out what the frick was going on. Okay, I hope you don't hear this. Can you hear my thing in the background? Can't?
No.
Right? Does that look good? Is that
looks great? It looked great, Myelin. It looked great.
So this is multiplayer. You have race,
game.
you have knockout tour, and you have battle. So battle is just like you normal with the balloons and stuff. Like 24 people. It's actually pretty fun. There's like a coin collection and there's like a battle mode. You just you're in an arena.
I have words about that.
I thought I wasn't gonna like it. I actually kind of like it.
That mode of online battle's fun, but go on.
The hit detection is chalk and cheese compared to Mario Kart 8. You actually get like the lag, like as an Aussie, when I was playing Mario Kart 8, you hit someone, it doesn't even look like they slow down and they just like keep going. You're like, okay, I didn't do anything. The hit detection in this one is so much better. You can actually aim your shells, you throw your boomerang, like you actually see them crash, you overtake them. Like it actually feels really, really good. The hit detection in this one. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like the 24 player chaos of it all. So it is 24 for that mode as well.
24 players,
We didn't get a full match, I think, when I matched online, but so yeah, I like that. But my quick note was like, I love when you're actually in a same room with people and they're just huge, massive battle battle royale maps basically. And actually it's not because it's on a timer. But anyway, putting all that aside, I didn't see a solution for like if just like me, you, Myelin, and Watts wanted to battle it out. It's like you have to like play online.
I don't think there's private lobbies yet.
You can play with computer, and you can turn computer off. But like I'm saying, it's lame because the maps are monstrous, which has been a problem in battle modes before. In other words, if you like that style, and then you go play like Mario Kart 64. You're like, oh, this is so much fun. You could play that on Nintendo Online. So compare them and tell me what you think of that. But the online battle mode it's interesting. It's chaotic.
This is kind of the interesting part. So this is sorry for the viewer listeners, but you get put into like free roam lobby when you join a match. However, similar to Mario Kart 8, sometimes you'll put you in a match that's already happening and already ongoing. But you can't see them do it, right? I can't spectate to see how close they are. So I just got to sit here, wait. Well, I don't have to sit. I can drive around. I'm just waiting for them to finish that match for me to put me into the next game, which is interesting. I often just leave and just go and find one that's already like ready to roll rather than just kind of sit here. You can also, they introduce a grinding. This is kind of like the new mechanic where you like Tony Hawk on poles and stuff.
This is very much like those videos that when I'm looking at TikTok, they have played on the side.
So look at this. So see these maps? They're connected to my current cow. So these two options, you have to drive to get to. If I don't want to drive there, I pick Peach Beach or random, and that would just be 3 laps of that. But if I pick these ones, like we're driving 3/4 of the maps before we actually get to play.
You're holding up
The map.
the bus traffic, Myelin.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Get out of the
hey,
way.
watch out! Sorry
Be
about that.
considerate. Is that how people drive in Australia? Jesus.
Yeah, they're on the wrong side. See, everyone Peach Beach, we actually get to do 3 laps of this rather than having to drive that. Anyway, I think that's why people were complaining that it looks boring. And it took as kind of a while until someone in chat's like, you're only doing 1 lap of the map you've actually selected. The rest is you driving to get there. So it depends on what map you get.
Mm.
That's weird. When does
Anyway.
Metroid Prime come out?
We had the end of the year, supposedly.
Ugh.
Yeah, it really should have been a launch title. Don't get me started on that rant.
Well, there's not much
yeah,
really launch-wise, right? Like, it's Mario Kart World and the tech demo.
Yeah, I was
A
gonna
lot of
say
people
maybe,
have been enjoying older games because you have a consistent frame rate, or ones that have uncapped frame rate can now go to 60 when before they were, a little bit below 30. So
yeah,
that's,
but that's like,
know.
yeah,
I mean,
So-
I didn't buy one. That one's not for me. I'm playing next year when Dustbloods come out. So don't look at me.
yeah. No, I would say it's not a good launch lineup, except for like obviously Mario Kart World is great. I need to play more of it. I'm interested, and it's it's a massive Nintendo game, but it's like outside of that, there's well, I'm lucky that Tears of the Kingdom I waited on playing, so I'm one of the lucky ones that sort of planned my experience. But from a unique launch night perspective, I honestly felt, I was like, dude, of course I like Mario Kart, but what else, And there's like nothing else new that's like really unique and exciting. Like this is the only Nintendo developed, game, right? That launched that's brand new, I think.
so.
Which is super lame for a multi-billion-dollar
Donkey
company.
Kong's not out yet, which is crazy. I really think they need
When's
a
that
Donkey
come
Kong
out?
with it.
That's a launch window, right?
It's a lot
like
of
couple
upgrades.
It's
weeks.
soon. It's soon.
Bonanza's July, late July, I think.
17th, July
this
17th.
This is Tears of the Kingdom. I put the cartridge in, right, and you can just play it from your Switch, like your old cartridge, normal Switch 1. But as soon as you load it up, there's a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, and you click on that, and that's how you pay for the upgrade if you want the frames and the graphics and whatever to be
I want
updated
the
to
frames,
Nintendo Switch
Myelin.
2. So there is an upgrade fee.
$10 US
Yeah.
dollars anyway.
Does Breath of the Wild have the same
Um,
thing? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Some
It's
upgrades
both.
are free, but you have to check. I don't know which
for
ones
some
are
games.
free.
But Breath of
Some
the Wild,
games
Tears
are
of the
free.
Kingdom, $10 for each, so you'd be $20 in if you love both those games and get full upgrades. And like honestly, I think if you are replaying those games and you own a Switch 2, you'd be crazy to not. It is what it is. Buy that and play. They have added some stuff along the way to some of those as well, I think. But regardless of the value proposition, like those games look amazing. But that's exactly what I was getting at with launch. Like I wish that Tears of the Kingdom had quote unquote, just launched and just came out. That feeling, right? Of oh my God. Instead, it's
true.
like, oh, finally
true.
a new Mario Kart, and like it's interesting and I've got a lot more to play and unpack in there. But like, you know what to expect. And I played Mario Kart last night. I played a lot of 4-player, to be fair, which is very different than like what Mylin's describing. But I'm a huge Nintendo fan. I have been. It's how I got into the industry. And maybe it's just the way that console launches are going. It's hard enough just to pre-order them in the first place. It's exhausting. The excitement is gone, right? Of lining up, launch night. In general, I know I had a little of it, but it feels like such a chore. But in other words, maybe the world has changed and it's like, well, whatever. We got a new Mario Kart, a new Switch. You should be happy. But
I actually used to
I just didn't
enjoy
feel the
going to
unique
launch
excitement.
night things, and now I can't possibly imagine doing it. But I used to love it.
Yeah, I would have if there was like, it wasn't easy. In other words, I bought one from Best Buy. I couldn't just be like, oh, I'll just pick it up there. Like weeks ahead of time, I tried to check, and they're like, sorry, you would have had to do that at checkout. And I wanted to be like, have you tried to buy a system on launch night? Like everything.
Actually, with
is
this
so
one,
challenging.
you could walk in at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and they still had a bunch left. Pretty much.
Yeah,
everywhere,
they're actually
so.
still in stock.
Switch
I
2s
just looked at
availability?
Target in my area. They're still in stock, so I could just walk into a Target right now and get one. Apparently, which I didn't know.
They
'cause
shipped.
I was camping.
They should. That's interesting. I'll be really curious to see once we get some sales estimates and stuff. But I mean, they prepared for this moment and in a way waited, right? Is part of the reason it didn't
I'm
launch
definitely
last year.
hoping it's being able to have units to buy is not a bad thing, and it not being this like being grabbed by scalpers and sold by scalpers and you can't find it anywhere
Yeah,
else.
true.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
like we don't have the numbers, in other words, but it's very different than like a PlayStation 5 launch in that it was very limited in the amount that was available of a cutting edge piece of hardware, et cetera, especially during that time. But now you have Nintendo has stockpiled. Now we don't know what that really the number is, but maybe that's why. In other words, you can't just look at it, I think, like Watts is saying, and be like, oh, I don't think it's selling. Like that's not. I don't think Switch 2 is going to have any problem selling, especially when they get to next year and they start having like some really big hits, like a new Mario and whatever, and whenever the new Animal Crossing is and stuff like that. It's like it's probably an assured blockbuster across the board here. But
I think
yeah, I wasn't like stoked on launch.
This feature is probably the most value if you want to do this and for the reason to maybe get it, but there's still like pricing, which is the Nintendo Switch Online stuff. So they've added, pretty sure the Nintendo 64, well, you might have to correct me on this. I think the Nintendo 64 and the Nintendo GameCube is the new one, or maybe the 64 was already there, but like there's some bangers here, like GoldenEye 007, Banjo-Kazooie, 1080, snowboarding, Mario Kart 64, old Mario Kart. But this is like Nintendo Switch Plus Online edition. So if you just got Nintendo Switch Online, you can't get the 64 games or the GameCube games. But I can play Super Nintendo, anything like pre-64, this is included in your online subscription. So it's like another additional.
Yeah, GameCube's new.
No, yeah, I think maybe it's just the GameCube one that's new, right?
I believe that's only new stuff. I think they're just focusing on, because they launched it with Switch 2. I think you need a Switch 2 to use the GameCube stuff too because of the fidelity and all.
Right.
But yeah, I think they're just focused on that. But that was another thing. Like, there's Zelda Soul Calibur, F-Zero GX, amazing. Please play F-Zero GX, even if it's old. But I still was. I know Sega, I'm like a party pooper, but it was Sega and Nintendo. But yeah, Sega. And they did. That was actually when they did the arcade version too. There was there was a GameCube arcade chip that was a little more powerful, that used the Triforce chip and some other stuff. But yeah, you can find them out there in Japan still. F-Zero in the arcade, find it. It's better looking than like what you see here. But anyway, I was gonna say the GameCube Online stuff. I would have loved them to like, as an example. I know I'm a big Nintendo complainer and a complainer in general. Let's face it. But Wave Race, as an example, was a launch game on GameCube, and this is such a like. I'm excited to have Switch, but like as a launch night product, I'm like, you couldn't even be bothered to put Wave Race and get it ready within the online component. Like that would have been dope.
It's not one of the launch titles?
And it's no.
I've always heard that game is actually hard to emulate, so I wonder if even Nintendo's having trouble getting that to run properly.
No, they're not. Their whole just everything is paced out. I mean, they have more games as well. They're like, well, we don't want to put stuff out too fast. They learned their lesson. Like, they got to stretch this out for 8 years. And
that game was so good looking on GameCube. Was it GameCube or 64 they launched on? It was launched on 64,
both.
Right?
Wave Race.
God, it was so good looking. It was so good looking.
Blue Storm is sick.
Yeah, it is sick.
So, but anyway, I just feel like they're just so focused on Mario Kart, and I get it, but I'm happy to have a Switch 2, despite how I sound.
Sadly for us.
I'll be playing it next year when I play Duskbloods. It's my Duskblood machine.
Yeah. I think it's very easily you can hold off getting a Switch 2 until the lineup's a little bit better, basically. Unless you're super keen for Mario Kart World, but I will say if you're a super keen Mario Kart fan, you might not like aspects of Mario Kart World like I described. You might feel like when I was playing, I was like, okay, Mario Kart 8 is like the competitive scene. Like Mario Kart 8 is the competitive Mario Kart, and this is like the fun Mario Kart for your kid. At the moment.
I could give a shit about Mario Kart. I haven't really cared about Mario Kart since like the first one came out and then Nintendo 64, and that was just because I was playing couch like battle mode against my friends. But man, Metroid looks awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. And I'll be honest with you, the Donkey Kong game looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'm excited about Bonanza. I think it'll be fun. I think it's an easy 7 or 8 without playing it. I'm like, dude, it's gonna be fun.
The Switch has really become my favorite console for just like kind of indie titles, like being able to like, play on the portable title. The Steam Deck is great for that too, but the Steam Deck weighs like 2 bricks, and the Switch is like half a brick.
Do you have Switch 2 yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. I keep missing
I
that.
gotta
But
buy one.
it's heavier though, dude. You'll be surprised.
Is it?
You're like, oh, like
Oh.
you'll know. I mean, it's quite a bit heavier than I'd have to look at the difference. It's heavier.
I do
You
have.
notice
Yeah, I
that
still
it
get
just-
that like pain in your palms, you know, from
Yeah.
holding it, just like the
Oh,
weight
really?
pushing into your
But-
palms.
I'm sure they'll make.
Yeah, but it's
some
worth it. The
new controllers that are more comfortable.
Yeah, the screen's really nice though, and so yeah, value proposition though, I think it's great if you have stuff to play. And I was gonna say, I think there's 2 more use cases to just make sure to put out there. Myelin basically already did it, which is depending on the age and how many games you play, like probably an awesome system for kids, almost certainly. And you
Sure.
know, I don't think there's any question about that. I think the other use case is that we play so many games on PC, cutting edge, PS5, even PS4 Pro, etc. But there's a lot of people who they only had a Switch or they only had a PS4, you know, and like so being able to play Elden Ring, hopefully, you know, runs
Oh,
good
is that
enough.
out?
And I
Is
saw
that a launch game?
Elden Ring's not out
No.
yet, but I was gonna say it's coming soon. And then you've got, you know, stuff like Cyberpunk, which is totally
Cyberpunk's on
decent.
there.
And if you've never played those and now you can take it on the road, it's like a very, you know, those are good use
Cyberpunk
cases.
Is 120 Australian dollars on there.
What?
Yeah, well, it's a
Lord.
$70 game. It is 2 games, to be
It
fair.
is a DLC too, right? Isn't it?
It includes Phantom Liberty. It's the Ultimate Edition.
How much is Mario Kart
Yeah.
for you guys?
I don't know. I got it in a bundle. I don't know the. I have to have a look at the. I have to have a look at the Nintendo store to see how much Mario Kart is by itself. But
That's a lot of money for an
Uh,
old game.
well, so normally in Australia, $100 is our full price game. You know, you guys had
okay.
60 US, I think, is
yeah,
like your
do
normal
look up
full
Mario
price.
Kart
They're like,
because it's $80 here, and the recently games increased in price to 70 from 60 here.
okay, Mario Kart is 119.95 Aussie dollars.
So Cyberpunk's
online.
going for that Mario Kart Prime pricing,
So Cyberpunk's the same. That's interesting because Cyberpunk is cheaper here by $10.
and also old.
if I'm right. Yeah.
No, Nintendo doesn't care.
So wait, is the
Nintendo
cart
say, yeah, what's I want?
Do you think Nintendo sets the price for that? I would imagine CD Projekt Red sets that price.
I don't know.
Who knows? Nintendo is a dictatorship.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to playing Mario Kart a little more like Myelin has been, like just play by myself, go online, and I think on that front it's going to be interesting because I haven't.
I'm
really
interested to
played
hear your
Mario Kart that way.
thoughts because
Yeah.
I think my first multiple hours was like, why are we going in a straight line all the time? Like, where's the map? I was just saying, Chad, like, okay, it's a bit chaotic fun, but after like 5 hours of driving in a straight line, and then I keep going, okay, this is better. And I didn't realize it was just when I was getting to the end of the map, we actually did a proper lap. I was like, okay, I can see the shortcuts now. Like, this is fun. Then the game's the track's over. Done.
One thing that I do like that I've seen from Mario Kart is when you're playing with friends using that Nintendo face cam thing.
Yeah.
And they get
yeah,
hit by a shell and their face starts spinning in a circle.
That looks cool.
Yeah.
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 I
That's
do love
funny.
when they do stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
genius.
funny.
Okay.
State of play?
All right. State of play. Can I go in order of announcements?
Go on.
Whatever
Okay.
you
Yeah,
like.
Briar,
So many
just-
announcements, Watts. So many.
You bring them up.
I'm
I'll
gonna-
bring
I'll
the
go
trailers up.
First of all, we got to see, Fran might want to talk about Lumines Arise. I saw you were pretty excited about that.
Quick mention. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They from the makers of like Rez and like old school music games and all that. If you never played Luminous, though, it was on PSP. Just a really cool like beat driven game. Oh, I loved Luminous series. So it's been a while, I think, since we've got a remaster or a new one.
I did not know
so, yeah,
Luminous
I'm,
and
like,
Rez
super
were made
stoked
by
for
the
this.
same people.
Yeah, Q Entertainment,
didn't know
is it Tetsuya Mizuguchi and all. Do you remember the Rez? There was like a Rez vibrator attachment.
Yeah.
Famously. Yeah, those people. But no, they're just legendary. Oh, and then Tetris Effect, right? He also
Mhm.
did that. I forget if Q
He made
Entertainment
that
did
too? I
Tetris
didn't know
Effect,
that.
but
Yep. Tetris Effect. Yep.
it's just like
when you say this,
those
the
types of-
pieces add up. Like, oh, of course it's
Yes.
because they're all, but I didn't know.
yeah.
So this is a
So, I'm
Luminous
excited about that
sequel?
one. Yeah.
Lumines Arise.
You just get into zones in that game where like you're so like locked into the beat. And it goes in a left to right, like kind of beat puzzle thing. It's been a while since I played it.
Headphones
but,
mandatory for these.
That's all of the games they make. You do truly kind of zone out. I mean, I hate to say it, but I think some of these folks that love these games, like they're, like a little additive to the experience, if you know what I mean. But it is great. Like people just zone out.
They made a
and so,
Tetris Effect VR for the PlayStation 4. That was sick. Man, it was amazing. Okay.
Nice.
Next up was Pragmata. This was kind of
Yes.
nuts because this game was announced in 2020.
Yes.
It was supposed to come out in
Capcom.
2022. This is Capcom's basically Capcom's next big action game, like brand new franchise Capcom action game.
This is a Fran looking game.
Sci-fi game. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the game except there's like a robot child and she shoots lasers and she's on the back of an astronaut.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that
Like backpack style.
she's
You get a
creepy
little
looking.
bit of a little bit of the Death Stranding like astronaut
Yeah,
suit
I was
with the
picking up
backpack
the
baby thing.
Death Stranding vibes from this for sure.
It's
Yeah,
just that
yeah.
weird sci-fi, and then the backpack with the child and the big, big suit like that. But I just love to see new IP.
Yeah, so
I
we got
love
some
that it's
gameplay.
some interesting action adventure from Capcom,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they
Oh, a
had
lightsaber.
shown it some 5 years ago, and people thought it was maybe done. It looks cool.
Yeah, so this was it, the way and the way that they've announced like delays or dates or stuff is like the girl writing on a piece of paper. So they did a pretty cool thing at the end when they were like 2022, sorry, crossed out, and then it was like 2026, it's real XD, which was a pretty cool it was a fun little thing for people who've been following the development of it.
Okay.
But apparently it's coming out next year.
Pragmata.
And they
Okay.
said it's real. So we'll see. It's
Pragmata.
exciting because it's a new action Capcom game.
Yeah,
Which,
and
it's been a minute.
Capcom only cooks now. So
Yeah.
before
They do only
5
do
years
cooking.
ago,
It's
I think we were like, oh yeah, they're making some good moves, and now you're like, they don't miss. So I can't
They
wait
got
to
a big
see
old
this.
wok and they're just throwing them hot constantly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Serving them hot.
The next game was Romeo is a Dead Man. And this was the first announcement that I did not know about that I was like, I am so in with this game. So this is by the guys at Suda 51, who they've made games like No More Heroes,
Lollipop
No More Heroes,
Chainsaw,
Killer
Killer
7.
7.
Yeah, all those kind of games. And it starts out with this trailer that's like, oh, this art style's kind of cool, and then it goes into like a 3D just action game. Like the art style, the style in general is so cool. Like this is one of those games where you see and you're like, it's got a very specific vibe to it. But the action just looks really fun. The art looks really fun. It just, I'm so into this game.
Yeah, the Suda 51 and Grasshopper, I think it is
Yep.
like they're just crazy kind of, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Like for real.
The cutscene art style is so different from the gameplay art style, but I don't hate it.
It harkens. I mean, there's probably more to it, but if you go look up Killer 7 as an example, like it harkens back to like the style they developed, and probably anime influences, obviously, and stuff. But I think that's where it comes from, and I wonder if the game has any of these like cutscenes built in. I don't know.
I think it
I'm assuming
does.
so.
It seemed like,
there's further on in the trailer where they actually show the character in like different types of genres of games and different types of cutscenes. So I wonder if they're doing a thing that I've actually seen a couple of games do now, where they're making a game and then they're putting like a bunch of different genres in the game. So you have a section where it's like a
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah. So they're kind of mixing art styles, mixing genres, and I just think it just looks so cool.
I kind of
It's
dig
just
that.
cool.
Anything
cool.
that's not a black and white pan and zoom cutscene, I'm all for,
Yeah, and it's funny because I've seen because we had this push towards like hyper realism, right? And try let's get the most realistic graphic. Let's spend 20 years making the most hyper realistic, super high fidelity game. And now it kind of seems like you're having a pushback of people doing more like very specific artistic games. They're messing around with different art styles. They're not trying to be realistic at all. They're trying to do like cool art styles. And I love that. I love it so much
Romeo
more.
is a dead man. Is a strange title too.
Romeo is a dead man. Yeah. And Juliet is in there, so it's something to do with Romeo and Juliet.
Star-crossed lovers.
Love it.
All right.
That's coming 2026. Next we have Silent Hill F, which
Wow.
looks banging.
Amazing.
I'm all about this. It
Too
looks
scary.
great. It looks really good. Yeah, it's scary, but also you are a Japanese schoolgirl fighting sexy dolls. So, I mean, how bad can it
Yeah,
truly be?
I
Very
honestly,
bad.
this might be
Maybe the
This might-
scariest, actually. Yeah, it might be the worst.
Does anybody else have Discord video or chat delay?
I'm
No.
definitely getting some delay.
Hopefully
Oh.
it catches up. But I was gonna say, this might be the first Silent Hill I go like really in for. It just looks so cool, and I
It
love like
does,
the
right?
Japanese
This is
influence,
gonna
and it just
scare the shit out of me.
Yeah.
yeah.
Too
And when I
scary.
watched it, like watch this part, I'm like, they know exactly what this audience wants. So, like, look at how like crazy, sick, and twisted this looks. But it has like just so much style, and I love the Japan influence, and them being
Yeah.
a Japanese developer. I cannot wait to see this one.
Oh, I'm so excited for it because, like, with Resident Evil and Silent Hill, like, both of these games are made by Japanese studios. But they went with a very, like, we want to make like an American game with, like, Rebecca and Brad and Chris. We're making, like, an American game as a Japanese studio. And this feels very much so like, we're going to make a Japanese game. It's all inspired by, like, Japanese.
I don't like this at all. I don't like this at all. This
It's
is
with you,
creepy
Myelin.
and everything moves weird.
Yeah.
And
Hate
yeah, I'm
This is
so
good.
in.
This is gonna be one of those feelings where I'm reluctantly playing it because I want to have the experience, but I'm also
You
scared.
just gotta start singing, Myelin. You just gotta sing while you're running around the areas. It makes it better. It helps.
Yeah, and I misspoke to. I was like, the publisher being Konami, of course, is Japanese, but actually, I didn't realize that Neo Bards is a Hong Kong and looks like China-based developer. So
I'm happy
They're
that
working with them on
Konami
it.
is back at least publishing games. Like they seem to be opening up their licenses to their properties to like other
yeah,
developers and then publishing them. They got
they
such
kind of
a-
had to because they blew it up, though. So, but I also
did
think
blow
it's
it
the
up.
right strategy.
So it's interesting with the development of Silent Hill F because they're a Taiwanese studio and they worked with Capcom on Resident Evil 2, 3, 7, and Reverse.
Oh.
Right.
So I don't believe they are the original Silent Hill devs. I'll have to
No.
double check that, but yeah, these guys worked on Resident Evil stuff. So with Capcom,
Right.
and they're working with a very well-known writer, Japanese writer to write the game. Yeah, it's a pretty cool
Looks
collab,
terrifying.
actually. Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good
looks
it's a good
awful.
reminder from Briar that they work with so many studios and have been for so long now. Where before it was kind of more internalized way back in the day.
And this is coming out September 25th. We have the release date of Silent Hill
Jeez,
F.
that's
September
right around
25th.
the corner. That's 3
Yeah,
months away.
when is this game?
Time's going fast. I
Really
know when we're at Christmas and I'm like, it's gonna be summer soon. And I'm like, gonna be summer. It's almost Christmas. Yeah, it's crazy. Next, Briar, are you interested in the next one? Bloodstained: The Scarlet Engagement.
Dude, I'm very actually interested in this. I love the first Bloodstained. Actually, there's like 3 Bloodstained games. There's the one that was like the main Bloodstained game that was like 3D graphics. Then they made 2 like pseudo NES games that were amazing. They were actually, I think, better than like the big one. But I really like the big one, so I'm looking forward to this one too. And this looks like it's a little more advanced as far as like graphics and combat and all that stuff goes. So yeah, I'm definitely looking. This is the guy who used to make the Castlevania games, right?
It is. Yeah.
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 Yeah, this looks
Oh.
great.
So
It looks amazing.
Bloodstained and Castlevania are very, very linked. First, when I first saw it, I was like, new Castlevania? Then I was like, oh, new Bloodstained?
It's Iga something.
Similar vibes.
Igarashi?
Okay, I didn't actually.
Iga.
I missed this one. I actually hadn't seen this one.
Yeah,
Right, it's almost like a that. It seems similar to what was that? It almost like arc shading, cell shading. What was that game that we played previously? The barbarian one, the Souls like. Almost seems a little bit like that when you're in game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's cool. It's got a cool art style and combat looks very fun. So I'm always down to check it out.
Yeah.
Definitely down.
Yeah. The first one launched with
that's
some problems, so
coming
hopefully they'll have this one
26, I
figured
think.
out when it
Yeah.
launches right off the
Yeah.
bat.
Yeah,
Kazan.
this is-
Sorry, I was thinking of Kazan. The art style reminds me of Kazan.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
kind
I
of
can
like
see
the
that.
cell shading in, but actually the background and like graphics are like really like painted as well.
Yeah, it looks nice. Looking forward
Yeah,
to
there's a lot
this.
of cool stuff going on.
This one's 2026. as
Cool
well?
art styles. 2026. Yep.
Now,
Uh,
Fran, I know
yeah.
you're a Metroid guy. Do you like Castlevania games as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't have time for like this style and those as much anymore, but oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks dope.
any Digimon fans?
No, I
No,
missed
let's
this
move
too.
on.
There is a new Digimon. What's that?
It's coming out
story?
October 3rd. October 3rd this year. It's coming out. They're actually doing some cool stuff with the art as well.
Did we?
this year.
Do you have the full
Did we
name of that
learn
game,
anything
Watson?
else about it? Like, what kind of game is it? Is it
It's
story
a
a
game?
series,
Pokemon
isn't it?
ripoff.
You've just offended some very passionate people.
I think they've
I
had
mean,
a
it's
number.
called Digimon
this
Story Time Stranger. So some timey-wimey, schwimey-wimeys,
Hmm.
timey-wimeys. See, there's cool art stuff going on in it. I was like, oh, it's
Yes,
very
cool
Bandai
art
Namco
stuff.
and the regular stuff, but I appreciate the
Oh,
other
okay.
art styles going on.
So it's still like like classical turn based by the looks of it.
Yeah, there's some of
Yeah.
these. I think in this series, you can play some stuff on PlayStation. I think Plus right now, maybe. I think I saw. So if you wanted to like check it out, you could do it as part of a subscription if you got one. I think.
Digimon, Digital Monkey.
See, look at that. Cool art.
I think it looks kind of good.
Weeb.
Next up, we had Final Fantasy Tactics is getting a remake.
Ooh,
And this
are
is
they
like they're
doing
they're
that,
Looks
like-
nice.
does look really nice.
Are they doing that like 3D, 2D thing that they did for the other Square Enix remakes? No, this looks totally different.
No, it's just like a super high polish
Yeah.
remaster kind of approach, isn't it?
Fully voice acted now as well. They've added
Oh, wow.
That's
voice
nice.
acting for all of it. Yeah. Which is pretty
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
did I see?
nice.
Is Ben
Honestly,
Starr in
this has
this
been a
too,
long
maybe?
time
Ben
coming.
Really?
Starr is in this.
Ben
yes.
Star's been in bloody everything recently.
He's in everything. He's the
Also,
new Troy
Dion-
Baker dude.
I heard a voice and I was like, that sounds like Dion for Final Fantasy 16. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just grabbed like Final Fantasy voice actors and like, you want to do some tactics?
Yeah,
Sure.
we've worked with you before. Would you like more work?
So
I'll probably
it's cool
pick that
because it
up.
comes with two versions. It comes with like the new shiny version with the voice acting, and I think the story is like a little bit different. And then it also comes with like the classic sprites and no voice acting. And yeah, so you get both.
This game has always been so well spoken of, but I've never played it, so I think I'll probably pick this up and try it out.
Yeah,
you probably
comes
can't
out
miss on that.
September 30th. So also very soon.
Nice.
Next was a game that I need Myelin to play.
Okay. What's this?
Baby
oh,
Steps.
Nioh? Oh, baby
God, baby.
steps.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Isn't there? I assume he's an Aussie, or he's
Yeah,
yeah.
he's an Aussie.
there's an Aussie in there, and he's got a dumpy, and he's got sweat in his crack.
Yeah, it's,
No.
it's basically me. Kind of looks like me if I had glasses on too.
Oh, man.
Baby Steps is a game where you're walking across an area, but obviously you can't just have it be easy walking because that would make the game boring. So you have to like individually control your legs and get to different locations, and it's just
Oh.
like a really funny, silly kind of game.
He gets to the porta
mean,
pot,
it's-
and
Lot
the
of good
porta
humor.
pot fell off the cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the whole thing is he needs to take a shit. Like the whole narrative is he needs to go to the toilet. Maybe that's why he's walking like that.
You just sold me on this
Maybe.
game.
This looks like
He
a
just
bit of
wants
fun.
to poop in peace. The poor man.
Just a fun game.
So yeah, it's obviously like similar to what's the, is it only up? What's the one where you got to climb the bloody
Only
mountain
Up,
with a
yeah.
pick? Is it only up? Is that right?
Yep.
It's like that, you know. I'm assuming it's like that. You got to walk up this mountain, try to get to the top to go to the toilet. I think.
Something like that.
Baby
Looks like
steps.
some good fun. Yeah. Baby steps.
Mhm.
Next, I died. I think I died that day.
Neo.
Yeah, so it starts off and like right away looks like a Team Ninja game. And they're like the Spirit Vein, and I'm like, that's Nioh. But I wasn't thinking it was gonna be a new Nioh because they said, I don't think we're making any more Nioh. So I was like, is it like a remake or is it like a
Debated.
side thing? This is Nioh 3. They just announced, oh, by the way, we're making Nioh 3. Oh, and by the way, there's a demo that's like 8 hours
Now.
long and you can play it right now.
Oh, it's out now? Oh,
Yeah.
So the
Yeah,
demo's
it
substantial.
launched. Yeah, I still haven't finished it. I played 8 hours.
this looks like
well,
a pretty
so-
big graphical upgrade, huh?
So
Yeah.
it definitely looks like Nioh, right? Like you can
Yeah.
tell it's a Team Ninja game, but the graphics are very noticeably better because you even have like similar enemies. Like there'll be some of the same yokai and stuff, and you can tell that it's a graphical upgrade.
Oh yeah, massively.
Yeah, this looks great.
Yeah. Oh man, so
how's it
what
I
they're
feel?
gotta
doing
download
with
this demo.
it feels great. It's only on PS5, the demo, so just be aware.
Okay.
All
But
right.
you
I have
can
one of those.
wishlist it on Steam right now, so I do believe it's going to be a simultaneous release. It's just that PlayStation has the demo early. So this game, the way that they're kind of switching things up, if you've played Nioh, it feels very familiar. You've got a lot of familiar stuff, but they're giving you a samurai character and a ninja character to play, and you can
Oh, I
switch
saw
between
that.
them at any point. So the
saw
samurai
that.
can parry, they use heavier weapons like the oldachi
Oh.
and the spear, and then the ninja has stuff like the ninjutsu. They're all about dodging and they're about like the fast weapons.
So this is what the Ubisoft Assassin's Creed should have been?
Yeah, maybe this is what they were going for.
Because
Maybe.
that sounds
Yeah,
very
those
similar.
two games I don't think. Yeah.
They're very similar in style. Like that's why Ubisoft, right? You have a ninja in one, and then you have the
You have a
chunky
ninja and a
samurai.
samurai, yeah.
And this looks
Yeah.
way better than that.
It's incredible. There's
So
so
what's
much
the difficulty
depth.
like? People, is it? We're not gonna call it a Souls like, are we? Is it a Souls
It's a
like?
Nioh's
Souls-
always
yeah,
been really difficult.
Nioh- he's always been a
Nioh's
Souls-like.
like.
But I
It
feel
has
like-
become its own thing now
Yeah.
because it's like a very fast,
Yeah.
flashy
I
game.
was gonna
But you
say
have
it's close.
you
It's
have
closer
bonfires,
to.
you lose your souls.
Okay.
There's bosses, there's limited healing, like you have all of the same stuff. Even the scaling of like strength and all that stuff is very similar.
Because I was gonna
If I
say
were-
the combat always reminds me more of an action RPG like Devil May Cry than it does of
Well, you know,
slow stuff, you know?
playing the ninja is very similar to like what I think the new Ninja Gaiden might feel like.
Right.
It's like very fast, flashy, flippy, lots of cool moves. Yeah.
Man, this is up my
See.
alley. I think I like this. I think I like this a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say if
Nioh
I
is
were-
definitely it's a hard game, and it's really
It's
hard,
hard, isn't it?
initially.
Mm.
It's really hard initially because the builds go really deep. So when you start making deep builds, you can be like crazy OP and do nutty things. But obviously when you're starting out, you barely have any skills unlocked. You don't
Yeah.
really have a build going. It's just you using your limited knowledge of the tools that you've been given. And Team Ninja is very much so like, so we've given you one system. Would you like 15 more? And we go, sure, I'll
No
try
thank-
and remember all of
thank you.
these systems. You know what's actually really funny? So because you have it's one character, but it's basically like two characters. A lot of people when they play the Nioh games, they're like, "Oh, the loot, there's just so much loot. You get loot all the time and the rarity of loot and the stats on the loot and there's so much loot." So they made it to where you now kit out 2 characters. So it's really funny because
Double
it
the
seems
loot.
like they were like, yeah. So they're like,
The
we heard
problem
you
to
doing
too much
too
loot.
much loot. So we gave you 2 characters to put your loot into. See,
True.
we fixed it. It's really funny. Yeah, so you're getting obviously they use different weapons, but they also use different armor. So all of like the samurai type of armor goes on the samurai, and the ninja type of armor goes on the ninja. Oh, you still have spirits. You have the guardian spirits that you can use that give you stats, and you can turn into them. So living weapon is there. You can also get spirit cores from yokai and use their abilities.
This looks great.
in the
This
game.
looks so bloody good, mate.
It's real good, and it's smooth. It's smooth as butter. This is
It
an alpha
looks
demo.
smooth. It look real smooth.
It's real good. It's like if you like, actually, you know what they did as well? They've took the things that people liked in Rise of the Ronin and Wolong and Nioh and put it all together. They've just like double, tripled down on all the stuff that people really like in
So when's it coming
Nioh
out?
and Team Ninja. Early 2026, which knowing Team Ninja, that means March because they love
That's what I was
March.
thinking when I saw
They're
that too.
obsessed. They're obsessed with March. They
Wow,
can't
so
help
like a
themselves.
proper
of the
demo
quarter.
this far out. That's kind of crazy.
It is kind of crazy. Yeah. So the demo is they're not doing the like you go on a map and you select a stage and it's a very kind of linear stage now. They're doing like wide open areas. So it's not open world. I don't think you're going between each thing and it's just completely open, seamless. But I guess you could think of it as in previous Neos, you would select multiple stages to fill out like that whole stage. This one is more so like it's one big stage and then you can kind of like go to the next one. So they give you one big stage, which took me, I think, 5 hours to get through, was this one big thing. And then they're like, oh yeah, now we have this challenge level. And there's a whole other challenge level, which is another level. So there's so much. There's so much. There's so much content
So
in
wait,
there.
it's a Twitch chat said it's a limited time demo, as in it's
It
going to
is.
go away
It's gonna go away on the 18th.
Oh wow,
this
that's
month.
fast.
18th. Yep.
You know what?
About
I
what,
actually
like
like
what,
that.
couple weeks?
I actually like
I
getting a
hate
little
that.
taste of a great game and then just nuke it until it comes out. I actually like that a lot.
I think it makes sense for an alpha demo to not keep it around for super long because obviously the game is still changing a lot. To just be like, hey, we made something you can play for our announcement. Yeah, it's really good. If you like Nioh, guess what? It's more Nioh. They quadrupled down on Nioh. It's flashy and cool and feels awesome. And you can enemies do red attacks on you, and you press R2, and it switches between the characters whilst breaking the enemy, and it's cool, really cool, great, very good.
Says the guy
So
waiting for
that is
Arc
crazy.
Raiders. This is exactly what I was thinking, right? I got a taste of Arc Raiders and it went away and I want more. I actually, as much as I like
Mm.
hate that, I actually love playing a good game and then it being removed and then just waiting for it to release. I think that's great. Like, I mean, it sucks as a content creator sometimes, but I think it gives you the feel and the joy of waiting for a game. And sometimes we don't always get that. So I like when you get to play a demo and you're like, oh, I actually really can't wait for this game to come out now. I think it just kind of unlocks the nostalgia of games for me. Like waiting for Christmas time, waiting for go to the video shop to get the game I want to play. You know,
Yeah.
it's nice.
And this one they're probably going to do another demo where it's out on PC as well. So next up we had some VR stuff. Briar, you excited about any of these VR things?
I didn't watch any
Thief
of
Thief and
it.
Thief
Tides of
VR.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thief and VR.
I thought Thief. I thought it made a lot of sense. I didn't get a close look at it, but I was like, that's a good idea for a VR game. Or
Is that a
good
new
match.
Thief game?
My twin brother played
know. That's a good
so
question.
much Thief in our adolescence. Absolutely loved it. I didn't really play that much. But
yeah, I don't even know if it is from Eidos Montreal and all that. I have no idea. I just quickly looked at it.
I mean, all these games
Good
fundamentally
question.
kind of look the same because they're in the dark in like some kind of medieval city.
I mean, Thief's a great game.
Sneaking up
I
on
just
Hopefully
I
it's just a
can't
good
handle VR. It makes me too motion sick.
Was the last
so.
one Thief 4? That was like a while ago now. I would say 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, they just haven't been making them. I'm pretty sure that was like that's been it.
Was there any other? Was it just Thief VR or was there
Um,
something else?
There was also Tides of Tomorrow, which is
Okay.
like a water game.
Oh, yeah. I
In
think that one
VR.
reminded me of Avatar. What is that the one?
Really?
I don't know.
Apparently,
Maybe
it's a multiplayer VR game.
Which game what?
Tides of Tomorrow.
Oh yeah. No, I thought that looked neat. That's the
That
one
looked
where
neat.
like, right, you can, I don't know how it works where
Oh,
you
yeah.
play another, so in the multiplayer world, it's this one, right, Watts, where you'll play
Yep.
part of
Yep.
their story, which influences, how your story
Yeah, that.
unfolds.
I was thinking of something else. Yeah, that is
This
interesting.
reminded you of Avatar?
No, it doesn't. I don't know.
Waterworld?
There was like a really, it must have been something else, a really bright water area. I was like getting, the water avatar. I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. It must have
Was
not
it
been this.
Astro Bot? Because that's up next.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's a new
They
Astro
got
So
another
happy to see
free
this.
update. Free
5 new
update.
levels, I think, coming.
Apparently it brings the total to 90 planets.
It already had quite a bit in it, but they have added, they had like the
Yeah.
speed run levels, then they had some holiday level stuff, and now they have this. I don't know if
Now
there's
they're adding
anything
more.
in between, but
And they're
Free?
adding Ghost of
And,
Yotei bot
yes.
to the game. Free. Yep.
Wow. See,
More
Nintendo?
free Astrobot.
Love seeing
Here's how to do like your advertising, how to play this console game and make people love it.
Yep. Astro Bot started off as the free installed tech demo, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Next was Sea of Remnants. I don't really know what kind of game this is. It looks
That's the
like
one-
third person Sea of Thieves, but like different.
Yeah. It was some kind of pirating adventure game, right?
Yeah.
I thought it looked okay, but I haven't played any of their games before, and
Apparently,
I
it
thought it
is
looked
a
okay, though.
turn-based RPG. So,
Huh?
Oh, really? I thought I saw action in there. It looked like it had a
apparently.
number of things, but
Yeah, I
There's
was
not
a lot of
confused
information about it.
about
Sea
what
of-
this game was.
Sea of Remnants.
yes.
Yeah.
Like Remnant 2. Turn-based.
That's what it says on the Steam thing, but that's also like user-generated, so maybe not.
Do they have
But I
a,
did see something that looked turn-based in there as well.
do they have a
I'm
date on
just
this one? yet?
scanning now.
It looks almost like Monkey Island, like guy.
It does, yeah. It
does
looks
have
very
Monkey Island
Monkey
feel.
Island. Yeah,
Oh,
it
the art
does.
style, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. It's a visually rich ocean adventure RPG. As a puppet folk sailor seeking lost memories, you'll brave dynamic seas, battle strange monsters, build your fleet, bond with 300 plus companions, and shape the evolving pirate city.
Yeah, like I
Oh,
think it has
I
some
know.
survival building elements and stuff. So, yeah, it just seems like they have a number of things going on that I was like, what's the
Hard to
gameplay like?
pin
But that's
down.
Oh, yeah,
great.
that definitely had the RPG.
Apparently,
for
it's an
sure.
MMO as well. I don't know. I'm
What?
confused.
MMO. I don't know if it's a full MMO. Maybe. There is a PlayStation blog on it if you want to learn more. Is maybe a good way to frame it.
Yeah. It's a. I was like, it
MMO, I
looks
didn't-
cool. No idea what's going on, but yeah, it's cool, man. I like the
Okay.
style. Looks cool. Next was Sword of the Sea. Maybe this one made you think of Avatar, potentially. Sword of the Sea is by the people who made Journey and Abzu, those guys, and it looks very much like those games.
Uh-huh.
Wait, they
This
didn't
is
do
coming
Journey,
out
I don't think, right?
August 19th. Did they not do Journey?
But it looks like it. It's that
It
type
looks
of
like
game for
Journey.
sure. But they
It's by
did
Giant
Journey,
Squid.
right?
It is
Yeah.
by Jenny. It just came up. Hold on.
But yeah, like it has
The artist
totally that vibe.
behind, yeah, and Jenny.
Yeah, absolutely. The Pathless and Journey. Yeah. It looks like all of those
Yeah.
games.
Oh, maybe
Yep.
it was somebody who had left.
The
I don't know,
artist,
I'm
not the
definitely
developer.
Probably wrong. That might
There
be
you go.
why.
There you go.
That's what it was. They had left
There
and
you
worked
go.
on it. But in it, it's totally that type of experiential game.
Yeah.
I think
All
that
of those
looks
games,
cool.
if you haven't played those kind of games, they are very much so like trying to give you a fairly short, really cool experience. So in the case of Journey, you actually met up with a random player in game. You didn't know their name, you didn't know anything about them, and they tried to do this thing where it just like it felt like a genuine like happening upon a person in a game in this
Yeah.
world, which was really cool. And then Apsu was underwater, which was terrifying, but there's nothing hurts you. It's just very like you're experiencing this super cool world. So they do those kind of games.
Yeah, I
Copy
think it
that.
looks cool.
Yeah, their games always look cool. Honestly,
Would make
they
a
always
great
look really
Switch 2 game.
cool. Yeah, it would. It would.
Bro.
Next was 007 First
Yes.
Light.
Ta-da!
I've definitely got
The
copywritten for that.
Hitman
Let me tell you.
devs. Yeah,
It is being made by the Hitman devs, which is cool.
Yeah.
it's huge.
That
Yeah.
makes a lot of
Yeah, but
sense.
That's the only
Yeah.
thing. That's the only reason I'm excited for this game. It's like the Hitman guys got the 007 license. Are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
what are they gonna do with this?
It's one of those
Yep.
stories. Wasn't this born out of the Embracer stuff? Can't remember.
No,
they
but it's
they got let go by Square, but they were allowed to keep the Hitman license. It was really weird. Like,
well, maybe that part, yes, but I mean the 007 part. I thought maybe was Embracer originally.
oh,
But
really? Okay.
regardless, I'm probably way off. I'm head spinning this week, but it's one of those stories, like you're saying, Brian, where you're like, man, if so and so did this game franchise, you know,
Yeah.
that would be such a perfect match. And then it happened, and you're like, holy crap! And
like
the
another story
trailers,
later in the show, and I was like,
but this trailer's amazing, and obviously they're working hand in hand with the Bond group. I forget what the name of the license holder is and all that.
the
But
Bond folks. Yeah.
the Bond family. But man, it just looks good, and they even have the actor Patrick. He's like the new Dexter or whatever, right? But some Irish actor is the main like new Bond in the game, and I'm like, this looks sick.
And this
I
is like
can't wait to-
it's like the beginning of James Bond, right? It's like following him in his early
Yeah,
career or
it's
something like
before
that.
he's got his 007 license or whatever.
Mm.
He's before he's
cool.
got his license to kill. He's still killing, but just doesn't have the license. For it.
Unlicensed. Unlicensed.
It's
killing.
like
Unlicensed
Myelin without
killing.
his pen license running around
Yeah.
the world.
Being very naughty.
That it looks amazing though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
just
haven't been
wonder how
excited
much
for a
of that, like,
007
Hitman-
in a while.
I wonder how much of that Hitman magic it'll capture, or if they'll have to like treat the license with a little more respect. You know what I mean?
I think I might have a bit more
It's gonna have to
bombastic
be better.
action than Hitman, but I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of stealth missions.
The sneaking looked very Hitman. Like, as soon as he started
Yes.
sneaking, it was
The
like,
crouch
oh, yeah,
walk,
that looks
yeah.
like Hitman. Yeah,
sneaky,
it's
yeah.
Hitman.
And I mean, it's the Hitman engine, right? And so there, I think if you've played
Yeah.
Hitman,
Yeah.
you're not gonna be able to unsee Hitman when you play this. It's more that's what you want within the Bond experience. But hopefully they nail those like really big action moments, and they show you like they have driving, you know, like action moments and all this stuff. Probably
Yeah.
boat stuff, and so I'm
Oh, I love boat
super
stuff.
excited. Love the good boat stuff. But that's sometime in 2026, I guess. I don't know if we know when.
Yeah, I don't think we know when. And then before we
Those
get
guys
to
are
the
so talented.
announcement that Briar pooped his pants, peed his pants, so maybe he slapped a bear on the ass about.
Yeah.
I just want to say that we did get a little tease that Ghosts of Yotei gameplay is coming next month.
Oh,
So
God.
Deep dive.
That game's coming out this year,
deep
right?
gameplay deep dive. Yeah. Mhm.
Jeez. They've been quiet.
Crazy, I know. Isn't it
October,
crazy?
I think.
Yeah. Crazy. Marvel Tokon fighting.
Oh, don't have a
souls.
try for that one.
Keep going. What I heard the
This
name of this and I was
was-
like, oh, this must be some kind of like fan game, like mashup. Or
Yeah.
like...
So it's with like Arc Systems Works, and we're like, oh, a new Guilty Gear, and then they show like a Captain America shield, and you're like, huh? Because for context, Marvel works with Capcom on like their tag team like fighting
Since like
games.
the
It's
90s.
Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Marvel and Capcom. So to have this be Arc Systems are making a new tag team Marvel property, the
Yeah,
fighting
it's-
game community has lost their mind.
It's so weird because
Yeah.
the Capcom Marvel vs. Capcom games were like the team based like tag fighting games, and then the fact that Arc
Yep.
System Works got a hold of this license, they're like, yeah, we'll just keep it a tag, but instead of 3 players, you get 4 bitches.
It's 4v4. It's 4v4.
And like the art looks fantastic, and like Arc System Works has been knocking it out of the park with Guilty Gear and with that Dragon Ball game that they released now quite a while ago. I mean,
Blaze
this looks
Blue as well.
awesome. This looks awesome.
It looks incredible.
Yeah,
and we
it's actually Sony is helping develop this, but
Mhm.
it is coming out on PC as well, so it's not just
It's
like
on
a
PC as well.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
And Sony's making a fight stick for this.
Yeah.
They
Was
are.
it
They
Project
Yeah.
Defiant?
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
announced it early on, and everyone was like, "Why would I need a PlayStation Fight Stick?"
Yeah.
And then they're like,
Check this,
Goodbye.
bitch.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fight stick is
Um,
really weird too, because it's like a wireless fight stick. It's like a really
It is
low
wireless,
profile,
yeah.
so it's gonna it's not gonna use like standard fight stick parts. It's gonna use like proprietary stuff. So who knows if it'll be a good fight stick? But this game looks amazing. Like the art
It looks
style is so
phenomenal.
sick, isn't it?
The art style is so good.
Yeah.
And we got like a little bit of a look at, because they did like a really cool rewind at the end of this, and they went to do like a little kind of documentary about how it came to be. And they were saying that Sony went to Arc Systems and was like, "We want to make a Marvel game with you." So Sony are the people, Sony PlayStation is the people who went to Marvel and to Arc to be like, let's try and do this partnership and like make a tag team game together.
Ark's like, do you think Capcom's gonna be mad? Because
Yeah, you're like, are we okay to do that? Is that okay? And the really cool thing that I actually really loved about it is that, so they had a part where they said that they showed the character designs to Sony and to Marvel, and they were kind of disappointed, and they were trying to figure out why. And they're like, we want you to create these characters the way that you guys want to do your take on them. So they showed Iron Man as an example, where Iron Man kind of looks like a Gundam. He looks
Yeah.
like an Iron
Yeah.
Man Gundam. So they wanted this to, and it seems like even with them using the name, because Tokon means fighting souls, but it's Marvel Tokon fighting souls. It seems like they really want to be like, this is a Japanese fighting Marvel game. Like, we want the style to be Japanese. We want you to know that this is coming from a Japanese studio. We don't want them to make like follow the suits of all of the other iterations of the characters. So it looks incredible.
yeah, it looks really
looks
fresh
super
too.
cool.
Like,
Yeah.
obviously Marvel characters, like
fresh.
how fresh can you be? But it's like a really unique look at these. Like the art
Yeah.
style is so new. Like the drawing of these characters is so new. But also like, I don't know, the fighting game genre can kind of feel like stuck in a rut sometimes. Where like, oh, we got Street Fighter 6, we got Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what we're on now. 12, I think.
1.
I believe it's I believe it's 0.
1.
Or-
Well, they
But
went
it's
back
like,
to
you
1,
know,
right?
they iterate, and then like to see something like this, like, sure, it's like it's a team-based fighting game, but man, it looks really fresh and new.
I
can't wait
think
to play it.
You would definitely hope it does what Marvel Rivals did for hero shooters and kind of get a lot of people back into that space that maybe had left or wouldn't consider a hero shooter. Now they're playing it because it's got the Marvel skin. Like, I don't play fighting games. I'm like, this looks kind of good, so I might give this a
It
shot.
looks good. It
Yeah.
looks really
You know?
good. And they've said that they're doing a system where you don't have to learn 4 characters to be able to play the game. You can play as one main character and use the others as like tag
Like
assistants,
support.
or you can learn 4 characters and you can switch to the different characters throughout the game. So they're letting you do both.
I hope that they have a good, easy to use ranked kind of matchmaking system, because that has been a real bugbear for them. It has been a real weird, like, why can't Arc System Works get this right kind of thing? Or just like, let me get into a lobby and like matchmake in ranked, and they just haven't been able to do that. But man, this game looks awesome.
It looks
Guilty
incredible,
Gear
and
was
I'm
so
super
good.
happy for them because they make really unique style, like very good games. And
Yeah.
I'm hoping this ends up being like a huge international hit for them.
Yeah, I think Guilty
deserve
the
Gear
attention.
was a big hit for them. So was Dragon Ball. I think that was a big hit for them too.
I mean, they're just one of those developers. It is another one of like, what if this developer did? And so yeah, now we've got a couple good examples of that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
pretty
this is really
exciting.
exciting.
And yeah,
the
like
fact that Sony's making a fight stick, like, I don't know, even if it sucks, it like just adds some legitimacy to like, the FGC.
Yeah. Man, this state of play, I felt like I'd been beat up at the end of it. I was like, what is going on? It was just so much was happening. I was like, initially I'm like, okay, that's wow, we got Pragmata. All right, that's crazy. And then they just kept going, and I was like, oh my god, I don't even know. I don't know what's happening anymore. It was incredible. And Sony apparently is at Summer Game Fest still. So I don't know what they're going to be showing there. Summer Game Fest is tomorrow. This is just the beginning, the tip of the iceberg of what's coming.
Also known as Arc Raiders release date.
Yeah, hope so. They
It's gonna be-
are
I
they
was thinking
are they at Summer Game Fest, right?
What?
Is there like a
The devs
location
for
for
Arc
Summer
Raiders?
Game Fest?
LA.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is like E3 week basically. But
Yeah,
now it's
it
Summer
is.
Games Fest. But it's nice, to see all that energy.
Is there
Basically
like a
getting
show
a PlayStation
floor,
conference.
or is it
and-
just like a bunch of people have like hotel
No.
rooms and
Well-
you have appointments and you go and look at games?
They do have the. I haven't been in a while, but they should still have that area of play. I forget where it happens, where you can, because people get tickets still, right? And can play
They
some
definitely,
stuff.
they have like the live audience stuff,
they
and then devs definitely kind of set up play times for people to go and check out all of their stuff during the announcements and stuff. So it's basically E3. It's just maybe not in a huge convention hall.
Yeah, it's not 2 giant convention halls or anything anymore. So
Yeah.
that's a good point. I guess I don't know how they sort of.
They probably just
changed it
get
with-
like hotel rooms or stuff for.
It's definitely a lot of that, but yeah, normally there was
Yeah.
like some more centralized stuff, but actually, I have no idea at this point. But yeah, like Xbox isn't. Remember, they used to do their conference at the big theater there, and so that's not happening. But like that's still coming.
They
digital,
have their show on
right?
Sunday.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like to your point, Watts, it's like this was a huge piece for sure, and we're
Yeah.
still at the tip of the iceberg in terms of all
Yeah.
this stuff rolling out. So some exciting
I'm
days
so
to come.
excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I want to see what Xbox has actually for sure. But even
I think
just
they've got
Summer
the
Games
Lies
Fest,
of
what
P
they have out.
Overture release date. I think they've got that.
Oh,
That might be an easy one.
that's a good
Because
one.
they keep saying, the Xbox controller powered our early playtesting. Thank you, Xbox.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, really?
well, probably on Sunday they'll have that. Yeah. It was phenomenal. Very exciting, very
Exciting few
good,
days.
very happy.
I'm
And
excited
Nioh
for
is great.
video
Nioh
games
3 is
right
great.
now.
Ugh, yeah. I'm so addicted to Nightreign.
Yeah. Yeah. What's
Yeah,
going like?
hopelessly.
What's the ongoing like kind of like feeling on that game? I guess.
So it's a bit of a weird one because people see Elden Ring and they're like, I like Elden Ring. And like, well, this isn't Elden Ring. Like, because I get a lot of questions like, I've never played a Souls-like. Should this be my first one? And I'm like, this is not a Souls-like. So no, I don't recommend that at all. It's like, yes, it's using Elden Ring's weapons, and it's using
Combat.
so yeah, bosses from different
Environment,
Souls
bosses.
games. But the way you're playing it is you drop, you're looking at your map, you're like, okay, this boss is weak to fire. Here's a fire location. We're gonna go to the fireplace. Okay, here's a church. This is where we get more flash charges. Go to the church. Does anyone have an Everjay? Okay, we're gonna go kill the Everjay. Okay, we're hitting the mines. We're gonna go get the thing to level up our weapon. And it's that for like 15 minutes. And then you fight a boss and you kill him. And then you do it again. And then you fight a boss and you try and win against the big scary boss. But you're like Elden Ring and Souls likes are very like, take your time, learn the fight, be careful,
Yeah.
take it slow. This is, even if you die, it's better that you die but kill things fast over killing things slow and being very, very careful. Because you want to be aiming to be level, 15 ideally at the end of day 2. And if you're level 9 or something, it's going to be very, very, very hard for you to kill the boss at the very end of these runs. So anyway, lots of people are addicted to it and love it and find it really fun because there's lots of different builds and you're trying to get more relics and you're to build out your character and you're trying to learn different characters. And I find that really enjoyable. Like, I'm just playing one character at the moment. And I am loving learning the intricacies of them and what spells work well on them, what weapons work well, what kind of relics I want to use. But it is a very different experience. And going into, especially if you've just started and you're playing with people who are only on that first boss, it's a whole lot of headless chickens running around trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've noticed that like early on, the randoms when you match make, like they're obviously new. They don't know what they're doing. So it's not going to be a very successful, most likely. But then now the randoms that I get are like way better. I haven't had any issues with any randoms now at all. We just ping, and whoever starts pinging first, they're kind of like the leader, and you follow them around, and it's been really successful. So I
Yeah.
think just give people some time to learn. If you don't have friends to co-op with, give some people time to learn so they can kind of teach you how to go everywhere, because this game isn't about learning the fights. It's not about learning any of that. It's about learning the map and where to go to
Yeah.
get your
You
strength
kind of
on
need
the
to
map.
consider it like a really good roguelite, which it is. It's kind of like you learn the
Yeah.
map, you learn the build, you learn the abilities, you learn the weaknesses, and then hopefully you just uber scaled and you just slap the shit out of the boss, you know?
That's what I do. I'm like, I don't know what this boss is doing. He's doing some stuff. I can't see what's going on. Just slap him. I'm like, I'm level
Yeah.
15
well,
with a weapon he's weak to. Just
Uh,
slap him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the really big difference there is that in Elden Ring and Demon Souls and stuff, like you're usually like at the boss, so you keep trying, and you're there for like 50 tries of. And
Yeah.
this, you
Yeah.
got one shot, unless
You got a
maybe you have like a
45-minute run
res,
back
but
to this boss.
yeah, but like that's the big difference. So yeah, you're absolutely
Yeah.
right. It's all about learning the nuances, and even stuff like, you know, if you don't know, even I know, like for example, in Elden Rings, like you scale, you can look at your character scaling of like your S tier dexterity. But you're like, yeah, I get it, but I'm gonna use this sword and blah blah. But then you start to realize, yeah, the nuances, like you're saying, Watson. It's like, maybe you should not be using this weapon just because you think it's
Yeah.
cool. It's gonna affect your
Yeah.
damage, dum dum. And you're like, yeah, I know, but I wanted to use it. And like you go through all of that and learning all these nuances. So yeah, overall, I really like it. It is brutal. The gamepad was broken apparently, Myelin, on Steam, and that
Gamepad
was
on
legit
PC. Yeah.
shocking to me. So for climbing up, I complained for 3 days, like blue in the face. I fell down the cavern of gag, son of a bleep, you know. And it turned out they fixed it like that bug.
Yeah.
So I was
Yep.
shocked to see that. That was a really nice change.
They also
And
added
then
solo changes as well pretty quickly.
yeah, solo's brutal though, but it's definitely better.
It's
But
definitely better.
meaning
You
it's
can
not
get
like it's.
You get like 3 revives now, pretty much, for the final boss.
Did they update it
Yeah.
again? I tried it. I only got
They
one.
updated it. Yeah, so you have to go. You're more likely to get the drops from bosses that give you the revive. So when
Oh,
you
but you
see
would need
that,
to
you
get
put it
that
in your
drop.
inventory, but they give you one for
Yeah.
free. So on average,
Yeah.
people are
I
getting
only
like
had the one.
three revives for
It's
the
probably
final boss.
it's definitely better. You can play it even just playing up to the first boss on your own. It's fun because you can get some of your questing done for characters that way and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've
But
been
yeah, I just wanted
enjoying doing it
to.
just to like
Yeah.
take my own pace and not like hurt the team by reading things a little bit more and like just thinking if this is gonna be good for a build rather than like bang 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 bang. It's like I
Yeah.
didn't read shit. I just randomly picked up stuff. My build probably sucks. And then
It's
Yeah.
not a bad idea, honestly,
So,
to go in solo
just to
like
learn.
initially and just take some
learn, yeah.
time to read some stuff and kind of get a feel for it. Just don't expect to
yeah.
like be successful the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
kind of
it's
like
definitely much.
learn what level you can take stuff on. I think is good for solo too. You kind of
Yes.
learn
Yeah.
I need to be at this level before I go to this area or do the mines or do the car like do the
You're like, there's
keep,
a red
you
wolf,
know.
jump him, easy. There's a
Yeah.
golem,
Yeah,
kill him.
what bosses
There's
you can just
Briar, run away.
yeah, exactly.
I'm still sorting out how I feel about it. I do like I like brutal games and all, but because of the design of this like 45 minutes just to get to a boss and the matchmaking, it's like I've only done one of the 8 bosses and having some good teams sometimes. But that's what I was going to ask you guys, like Watts or Myelin. How much have you played where it's just you and randoms, nobody's on comms or
I've
from
played a
Not
the
much
lot
community?
at all.
solo. I've played a
Not
lot
much, right?
solo.
It's
I think I've
usually
And you
me
play a
and
lot solo.
Dimitri and a random, or it's
Exactly.
me, Dimitri, and like someone from chat not on
Right.
comms.
And
Yeah,
that's why I
usually.
was going to say, like, my experience within a little bit of all of that is you really need at least somebody else on comms that has been playing for a while. To me, it's a pretty grindy experience just to get past the first boss. Like, I'm 30 hours in, and in other words, I've never had like 3 of the same people, including myself, like just in sync. But if you can do that,
It
I think you're going to have tons of fun. And like, it definitely is all about knowledge. I do like the game a lot, and I have an addiction because of this is just what From Software does. You're like, I know I'm better than this. God, I got to get back in there. And you're willing to do a 45-minute run just to get beat down. So it's definitely good on that front. But I'm like, am I gonna have to do like 80 hours just to get through like 5 bosses with randoms? Like I guess, you know,
It is
or get a
getting, it
team.
is definitely getting better with randoms the longer it's
getting
been
better.
out.
Yeah, they're
Like
learning.
as like you start realizing people are
Yeah, it's
doing very
collectives.
similar strategies of what places you should hit up and thinking very similarly. But you still get like, you know, if you're on comms, you'd be disagreeing on the strategy. Like there were times I was like, I think in my head, if I was on comms, I think we should do the mine now and get like, I need this for my gear. And they've pinned something else. And then all of a sudden, like I'm fighting a boss by myself. And you know,
Yeah, you have to. Yeah,
that's a bit
And-
frustrating, but it's that your team disagrees on the current strategy rather than people not knowing what to do really and what they might need for their build and what you might need for your build. And
Yeah,
I think
it's good.
I've done like 36 hours and the only co-op I've done is pretty much with you, Watts. So however long we played for. So I've done mostly solo and it's
Yeah.
it is a mixed bag. It is getting better though. The longer
it's a good
been out.
game though, and like I think they're gonna have updates later this year, right? So I think by then it'll be hopefully in more balanced shape, let's call it. But the game is absolutely good at a minimum. It's just come on, man. So I'm looking forward to
really
playing
want
more and see how
them-
the community goes.
I want them to add more random events because when those happen, it is so funny. Like all of a sudden,
They
a locust swarm will come and there'll be bombardments of locust swarms that will hit you and steal your levels. And you got to look in the sky and go, oh, the locusts are going that way. And you got to beeline to this stupid enemy and kill the locust before.
I was getting like fighting the bloody auger boss like every round for some reason. I was getting sucked into fighting him. I don't know what it was though.
For the first day boss?
No, just
It's like a random
randomly.
event.
Yeah,
It's an
just
Augur raid. It's like the bubbles that spawn and you
the
go in the
bubbles
bubble.
and it sucks you into a bubble. And I'm like, find the
Dude, it's
goddamn
so
imp. I'm like,
cool.
what is this bullshit?
I love all these. I want more random events like Morgoth invading you and stuff like that. I want if they add more of that and they add, I mean, I think that wouldn't be too bad to make because they're not building like entirely different areas. They're just building like some stuff that can happen on the map. I would also love to see more of the special events like the volcano and the rot forest and stuff because they're really fun to explore and they're just really fun to do. They're full of bosses and if you can get through it, you get crazy loot. But yeah, I hope they keep adding to it because I think it's really fun. I think it's probably doing better than they expected it to do. And I'm enjoying it more than I expected. I keep dreaming about finding new relics.
I think it's like so cool that they've just taken the great foundation of Elden Ring, like the environment, the bosses, the combat, and they've just made a completely different game from it. It's like,
yeah.
That's great. And I think this is going to be similar to Dustbloods, I guess. It's like probably going to have a great foundation in some weird ass extraction beat 'em
Yeah,
up.
that's why I'm not. It's definitely got me more excited for Dustbloods in the sense that, like, okay, they're really sticking with the, let's say, Elden Ring and Soul style design principles, but it's working in a multiplayer format. It's just they're adapting, but they're not. It's not dramatically different. It's. In other words, I still feel like I'm playing Elden Ring. It's just like you're rushing. Yeah, but it's still Elden Ring. You know, it's just
You're
like I don't want
speed running Elden Ring with friends.
like it forces you to speed run Elden Ring with friends. I think is a great way to put it for this one. And then Dustbloods is like PvE, but with hopefully without that, like I don't think it'll have the battle royale bubble. So it's gonna be really interesting
No, it
to
doesn't.
see.
Yeah. I'm really curious as well. And I'm really glad that like playing with people feels really smooth. You know, like I've played with people from all over the world and it's not been laggy or bad. It's felt good.
Actually really, very true.
Impressive.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Do you know, the only thing that I don't know if I'm convinced on, and I think it needs tweaking, is the revive system. Sometimes I don't know.
I don't like the.
Like I agree with being able to shoot arrows at your friends to get them up because I'm like, yeah, you kind of need that. But then
it's different for every weapon.
I've been swinging a hammer. I'm like, bro, I'm juiced with this hammer. Why shouldn't take me like 50 swings to get you up? What's going on?
Yeah.
It really gets to the point where you are For most characters, mostly just using your your ult
Super
to
to
get
revive
people
them.
up.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Pretty
no,
much.
it's broken. Like it's not. I don't know. Right now it's not a good system. I don't think the revive needs to be crazy on top of the crazy. Is how I put it. Like meaning it's affecting your. I mean stamina. You're using a weapon. It's crazy. I'm like I'm just trying to get you up. And so you have to figure out with your character, yeah, best ways to do it, which maybe that was
Yeah,
their
I think the
intent,
revive could have been simpler.
but yeah, in other words, like instead everybody should have just used the hilt of their weapon at the exact same speed and timing and it's balanced, or whatever. I do like the distance range stuff is good
Exactly.
actually for the game. But again, like it's still very dependent on the type of bows you use like in Magic. And so Magic's like OP with that. And so it's just not
But
balanced.
I don't know. I think it's more about the scaling. I don't feel like it scales right. Like I feel like I'm always
No,
at more of
it's
an advantage using a dagger over a heavy hitting hammer or something. It's
yeah.
like
Yeah, 100%.
Fast moving, dexterity, speed, yeah, is great. But
so I don't know.
anything
Maybe
heavy
I
is
just think the
brutal.
scaling needs to be changed. Like if I'm hitting with a hard hitting weapon, I should get you up quicker.
Do
Or
Totally,
more
and
it should
chunks.
be
Yeah.
it should be more chunks. Exactly.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. I'm not saying they can't fix it. I'm just like all these different weapon speeds and like stamina gives, and I'm like just maybe equalize it for now somehow. That yeah, it's frustrating when
Well,
you
I mean,
get
I
even
think the
past
thing is
two blocks of
it doesn't feel like
res.
you're getting the advantages of your build during the revive. And that's
Yeah,
why I feel like it feels bad. It's like
Mm.
if I'm
totally.
built into dealing heavy jump attack damages, well, if I jump on you, like I should see the big chunk, you
But
know.
Yeah. They could
it's
tweak
that
that for sure.
it's
Yeah.
that the reason I'm not so invested in that is it's like clunky hitbox feeling on it. Like it works,
The
and then
hitbox
I'm
is a
like,
bit clunky.
and then I'm like backing up because of the weapon I have, and I'm like, this is nuts. Like versus
but
like
some
you
of that
I'll
just
is
said.
just
skill.
drop Helen on you. Helen will sort
Yeah,
it
well, I
out.
just use my
Don't worry.
super exactly. Like play
Helen's on it.
Guardian.
But if you're playing
Yeah,
Guardian, you should be using your super exclusively to res people in boss fights.
yeah. It's
So,
good for damage too, but yeah, the
but
game is so hard. You're right. You better save it.
you gotta
You
save it.
better save it. Yeah.
Or you need to, if
Anyway.
you want to use it for both, you want to get relics that have ultimate arts gauge, which is what I'm looking for now with Revenant. I want to have ultimate arts gauge and then have my damaging ult, so then I can use it for both. It's like if I want to get some damage right now, I can pop it and I'll have it back up, not too far from now.
Yeah.
I think
On
the
the rel
interesting thing about this game is, for me, they
Mm.
kind of solved the roguelite issue I have, which is I just kind of get bored of like repeating the same thing. There's like so much variation in how you play every match, and it's so fast paced, and you have that meta progression piled on and the build stuff piled onto that. It's just kind of like it keeps it fresh each time, and that's usually what moves me away from roguelites. Like after a while, I've like done the same thing over and over again. I'm like, I'm kind of sick of killing the same boss, doing the same levels, and getting a smidge of percentage increase in my main character. Which this is like, all right, let's go again. Send it.
Yeah.
See if we get a
Yes.
good run.
I just want to keep going.
I was gonna say maybe last thing
stop.
on that, Watts, because it's so roguelite based. You come out with these relics. Have you got a good sense of when you get like +1 vigor or +2 dexterity or +2 arts? Have you got a good feeling that that is actually good? It's really
Yeah.
Oh,
making
yeah.
a big difference.
Huge
'Cause
difference. Like
you just don't
I would
know
get
until
What
my
does that
ult.
do?
I would get my ult once in a boss fight as Revenant. I can get it like 3 times and I'm not, I don't have the fully spec stuff that I want.
Do you know
So
how
I
much
could pump that
plus?
way higher. I have +2 on 2 relics, so that would be
You have
+4.
+4. Okay.
So
Yeah,
what
so
does that actually mean? You get it back more from killing?
The
Like
cooldown's faster,
you get it
right?
back faster. Yeah. Just the base cooldown is
the
faster.
base
There is
cooldown.
also another relic. There's other relics that can give you like ult
Critical
gauge
arts.
based on like
Right.
kills and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So there's a bunch of little things. There's so many cool things you can do. Like you can run full support builds where your flask is healing other people. You can run getting your ult gauge up all the time. You can run like all in on like incantations or different kind Godslayer incantations, madness incantations. Like there's so many things you can really build into. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
the
they
amount
make
of
a
relics.
big. Sorry, go Fran.
It does feel it definitely makes a big difference. Every relic that I've tried makes a huge difference. I think I saw like if you get let's say improved Godslayer incantations, it's about a 14% increase of the damage of it, and you can stack them. So you could have 3
Yeah.
of those, and then that ends up being crazy difference in your damage.
Yeah, everything
Yeah.
seems that, but that's the thing. I haven't had time to like watch research vids or even just test it myself because like each run has been just its own
You need to
utter
go
failure
solo.
in its own ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wanted to get. I knew you'd played a ton. Like Watts, you've played a lot of hours by now, right?
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
didn't
like
play any for the past 2 days because of Nioh, but I'm
so
at
mad and addicted.
2 hours.
Yeah, so that's really good to hear. I've noticed a little bit, like when I got like my character relic and my character skill for guardians, like a little tornado wind
Yeah.
thing. It said, "Oh, it'll extend and be longer," and I was like, "Yeah, sure it will." And like that, I was like, "Oh, dude, this is like twice as long," but I just
They are
couldn't get the
quite
sense,
impactful. Yeah.
which is really good to hear because the problem again that I'm getting at is because it's such utter failure, so to speak. It's so hard with a random team in general to get very far that you don't feel super powered from those, but it's good to hear they're having impacts that once you start paying
Definitely.
attention can probably turn the tide if everybody's doing that,
Oh,
you know?
it's been great. Like I put the ultimate arts gauge thing on Revenant, and I'm now able to run into like an Everjail and do it myself, or go to a boss and do it myself because I can pop
Yeah.
my ult, and then my ult does damage, and then I'm like, I'm not wasting my ult. You know, I still will
Yeah,
have
just
it
build it back up.
for something when I need it again. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's kind of interesting because it's times it doesn't feel like a roguelite, and when you play like a normal, more like linear roguelite, you kind of know what level you're at. You're like, okay, I can do this now. I can do this. Like I'm getting more powerful. But in this one, you just kind of get runes, and if you don't spend the time looking at them or testing them or like working out how they do, you don't really feel that like power jump until you're like, okay, like I
Yeah.
can now like solo this boss comfortably at a lower level, which means you can, farm stuff differently with your group, which is like cool. I think I had a relic that I've been crutching on hard because it's like it gives your starting weapon Hoarfrost, and it's just like
mm-hmm.
so powerful against
It
ad
makes a
clear.
big difference.
And I
Yeah.
was like, I'm like way easier to solo stuff because you can just wipe out groups of enemies with it. And then I changed character and didn't put it back on. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of sucking again.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while, but there's so I get the sense, by the way, it's literally RNG on all of this stuff. But maybe
It
it's
is,
You get better
except like
drops, don't you?
if you're playing a character that says preference and it has like a weapon in their preference, you are more
Mm.
likely to get that weapon. So like
Gotcha.
halberds for Guardian or great axes for Wilder. So you are more
Okay.
likely to get it. But yeah.
Oh, nice. But yeah, I meant with the relics that it's insane how many
Oh yeah.
much variety
The-
there is and how much combination.
They
So like
did
I
It
think
does look,
in that
yeah.
update, they did make, and it was absolutely extremely noticeable that you do get way better
Grant
relics
runes.
now
Yeah.
when you do the expedition stuff and you're
Yeah.
successful, or even make it further in the expedition. It's very
Yeah, I think they
noticeable.
did something like after the first boss or second boss, there was something like increase rarity drop chance or increase
I thought it was you had to
the
get to
relics you
the
got.
third, that you had to get to the
Or maybe
Night
you had to
Lord,
get to the
but
third
if you
boss.
lost, you still had that chance. And then if you
Yeah.
buy at
And
the
then the
store, the
RNG, the
chances.
Gamba stuff is a much higher. You're getting better
But
stuff from that as well. Yeah.
but yeah, I think you're gonna see some really, like you're getting at some crazy builds once people are getting into these 80, 150 hour builds, and so it's gonna be really
Yeah.
interesting.
TLDR, Briar, we are enjoying it.
It sounds great.
I think.
Yeah.
Can you tell?
This is Nightreign addicts now. You're gonna have to cut us off
I'm-
from the future.
I'm just, it's so weird. I didn't think I'd like it that much. And I'm just like, I want to keep playing and I got to talk about the
Yeah.
builds. What are you doing? And what am I doing? You going to do a poison build this time? What are you taking with you? Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
yep.
Can I talk about Arc Raiders coming out tomorrow?
So I gotta eat soon, but yes.
Yeah,
is
we
the
gotta
only
wrap
note
this
I
one
have.
up.
Okay,
but-
well, yeah, we'll wrap it up. Look, so I'm really hoping Arc Raiders is going to get shadow dropped tomorrow, made by Embark Studios. They shadow dropped the finals at the Summer Games
They
Fest,
did.
which is their other game. There has been kind of these ARG, which I don't think they've even confirmed, but similar to like ARGs that Bungie would do, led to a website. It had a countdown timer. The countdown timer was leading to Summer Games Fest. People seeing updates on like their Xbox and stuff, like showing the thumbnails or whatever, but no download yet. So I'm in probably a 70% chance it's going to release tomorrow.
Don't you think it's more of just a beta announcement again, like a final beta
it could
announcement?
be? It could
Because
be.
I think you'd be crazy to go up against like Nightreign, Switch 2, and like and Summer
That's
Games
what-
Fest. All this noise.
Yeah,
It'd be
That's what
weird
I
to
would've
release a
thought.
game this weekend, I think.
that's what I would have thought. But you know, now that I've got the Switch 2 and realized it's only Mario Kart on there, Elder Ring's been out
Exactly.
for
That's true.
a week.
Oh,
yeah,
it
a
would
good
still
week.
do quite well, I think, but it's from a marketing perspective, it seems wild to me if they did something like that. But
Yeah, yeah. So it's I think worst case scenario we would get another beta announcement, at least, if not it dropping.
yeah, but good chance too. It could also just be coming soon. I think you've been talking a lot in the community about like finals had come out similarly around like summer and Summer Games
Oh,
Fest
was that-
stuff, right? So
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, finals dropped, Shadow dropped during Summer Games Fest.
oh, it actually full released. It
Yeah.
wasn't just a
Mhm.
release date
Yeah.
for July or something. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it worked for that, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, Arc Raiders is big enough now that it's going to do pretty well regardless, but
I think the word of mouth has done enough for Arc Raiders that
Yeah.
they could drop it and be right.
they should release it on September 23rd. That's Marathon's release date. I'm
Is it?
just playing. Yeah.
That would be
Forgot.
fun. All right, guys, let's wrap this one up. Thank you all for joining us. Have a
Mm.
wonderful weekend.
Game Awards tomorrow. If you're listening to this live, it's Friday. Not Game Awards, sorry. The Jeff Keighley Summer Show is happening tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific.
Nice.
Get excited.
Yep, I'm gonna get up stream at 5 a.m. I think.
Ooh,
Yeah, and
I'm also
then is
going to be
Xbox
streaming
Sunday?
it. Excited.
wanna-
Yeah.
Co-stream?
We could. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ooh and ah at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm down.
All right, guys, have a great weekend. Bye.
Yeah, bye bye.
Bye.